TGIM, it's Monday morning. Right now it is 8, and in it's 8:40 a.m. I'm very excited to be in studio. We have an awesome show. We have a lot of fun lined up. It's good to be back. It was a great weekend. Got a lot of work done, and I'm sure you did too. I'm excited to be here. Kurt, how you feeling today?
I'm doing fantastic. I want to hear what you did this weekend. Mm-hmm. If you want to drop in the comments below kind of what you did and every activity that you had fun doing this weekend, let us know. We'd love to hear.
Every activity? That's a lot. Imagine all 10 million people that are going to go back and watch this later, and they all put in what they did.
Hey, I like comments, so drop the comments, and we'll try our best to respond. What did you guys do this last weekend? We want to know.
Yeah. So later this afternoon, we have a Shine on Lamarck that I'm excited for it to drop. It's Kelly's Country Cooking. Have you been to Kelly's Country Cooking? Yes or no? Let us know. What do you get from there? It's like country-cooked food, home-cooked food, but it's oversized portions. Whenever you think of Texas, I know, like, the slogan is, like, well, everything's bigger in Texas. You being from Nebraska, is that true?
I have never seen a big baked potato like that. I asked when we were there filming, this was a couple of weeks ago, I said, hey, can you put your hand next to that baked potato? Because, you know, when you're shooting video, anything can look big. But when you put your hand next to that thing, and she put it, and it was like half the size of her hand. And I was like, dang, that is one big baked potato.
I think the potato is even bigger than that. But, like, in the video, it looks like they're trying to see if it's warm. In no context, that's what it looks like. It looks like, oh, is this hot? And yeah, it's hot. It's like melted cheese and butter. I'm not really that big of a fan of potatoes, but I am a big fan of potatoes with butter, cheese, sour cream, chives, bacon, all of that stuff on there. Oh, please.
You know, last night when I was editing, there's a shot, and I didn't put it in the final video, but there's a shot with the mashed potatoes with butter on it. And I was like, man, I got to go. I got to go to Kelly Country's Cooking right now just to get the mashed potatoes with butter on it. Like,
did you go? What time was it?
No, I didn't go. But I was like, man, that looks and tastes like it just looks good.
Yeah, we have a minute 10 before we're going to go on the FM. I see Tanya say, good morning. Good morning to you. We got Margaret. Hey, she took her grandkids to Chuck E. Cheese. That's what I'm talking about. I'm sure they loved that. Take me to Chuck E. Cheese. I went for my niece's birthday party. I will say it was in February, so yeah, several months ago, but I had a blast. I can't remember the last time I went, but I had like an unlimited play card that was, I guess, my son's technically, but we share, you know?
Yeah, so you share.
Had a great time, and it was a lot of fun. So the Campbell Foundation said breakfast and country fried chicken from Kelly's Country Cooking. Okay. We dropped some facts about Kelly's in the video, and I'm going to wait. But, okay, there's 7 Kellys, and I'm going to let y'all guess which one is the number one producing. I know there's some in Houston. There's one in Lamarck. There's one in Alvin. They have them all over, right?
Right.
But there is one Kelly's Country Cooking, which is the number one country cooking in the entire world. Can you guess?
I have my guesses, but I know the answer.
Well, here we go. Good morning. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. I'm Gardy.
And I'm Curt.
It's 8:43 on a Monday morning, and there is nowhere else in the world we would rather be than hanging out with you, maybe on Facebook, hanging out with you in your car, at work, wherever it is. I'm excited. TGIM. It's going to be a good one, huh?
Yeah, we want to hear what you guys are doing. If you're listening at 99.5 FM, go ahead and send us a text message at 346-704-1806. Again, that's 346-704-1806. We want to hear, what did you do this weekend? If you're tuning in on Facebook, drop it below in the comments. We're getting some good responses on people telling us kind of what they did this past weekend.
Yeah, I had a great weekend, and I know you did too. Maybe if it was not the best, let's change it. Starting today. It's Monday. We can make this a brand new week and get a lot of things done. Every time that I pray, I always pray, hey, let me get some things done that I didn't even think were possible. You know, get some extra work done just to get that laser focus and be able to get advanced in everything we're trying to do.
Yeah, it's a new week. It's something that's fresh. It's something that you can change what you're doing today. You know, we talk about positivity all the time, and today is that day where you can just flip that switch and only think about the positives.
Yeah. So Eldridge, our intern, who's awesome, and he's in studio hanging out with us right now, just out of the shot. But me and him, we're outside in the parking lot. I was actually listening to some music in my car, kind of waiting. I was like, well, he's about to be here, so instead of having to open the door, I'm just gonna wait, right?
Right.
And I was like, man, you having a good day? He was like, yeah, good morning. Good morning, yeah. And then I was like, well, You think it's going to be a good day? He's like, well, hopefully. I said, I'll take that. I'll take that positive outlook. He's like, well, you can't force it. I was like, yes, you can. You can kind of force it if it's a bad day. Hopefully just, try and change it. Do something positive. Focus on the good stuff.
One of the hard things, we've been talking about positivity now for a year and a half. And last night I was watching a TV show. And they were like in deep space and everything was going bad, and like the ship was tearing down. And the whole time they were like, oh, this is terrible. We're never going to see our kids.
Think of the positive.
And that's what I was saying. I'm like, come on, you're still alive. I mean, you're out in the middle of space. Come on.
Wow.
But think of the positives. Like, yeah, your ship's falling apart and you could die, but you haven't died yet.
Was it Iron Man in Avengers?
I wish.
Can you imagine being in a situation like that? You're an astronaut. The year is 2020, and things did not go quite as planned. Trying to keep that positive outlook, but that's when all your training comes in. That's whenever all your instincts come in, and they send the best of the best. So I don't know. That's an interesting thought to start out this Monday morning. If you're hanging out with us on Facebook, feel free to share. And then in the comments, let us know, what are you up to? I see Johnny Blade. Good morning, sir. Mr. Aaron. Transmission head, Matthew. My buddy Aaron Silva. We've had his wife in before doing real estate. Speaking of real estate, good morning to Anthony Macaluso, our good friend and partner right here on KHEA Radio.
And I just want to say, I think you say Ian. I think that's Ian, right? Would you say that's Ian? Ian, if I'm messing this up, please forgive me.
That's Lain.
Lie. Okay. Anyways, it was his 45th birthday on Saturday, and so happy birthday to you, sir.
Happy birthday. What did you do? Kurt, what are you doing for your birthday this year? You're a little extra whenever it comes to life. You're a little extra, especially whenever it comes to yourself. You're celebrating your favorite person. What are you going to do for your birthday this year?
Actually, this year, it's going to be a little different. So Naola, my girlfriend's birthday, is the 7th of September, and mine is the 21st. So
okay.
They're both on Saturdays, and they're 2 weeks apart. So there's a Saturday in between. And so instead of having my birthday and having her birthday, we're actually going to combine our birthdays on the 14th.
How old are y'all going to be together? Is that what's going on here?
31, 20. I can't do math.
Okay.
I think it's like 55 together.
Why don't you just want to celebrate yourself individually? That doesn't sound like you. This does not sound like it was your idea.
Exactly. This was my idea.
I don't know.
This is exactly my idea. I love it. I'm looking forward to it. So that's what I'm doing. I don't know what. 31's not really that big of a deal like 30 was. I felt 30, I turned old. 31 is just another day,
Okay, that's fair. You do realize all the attention's not going to be on you. Are you going to be able to handle yourself, especially on a birthday?
Yes, I can pass up the opportunity. It's 30. I mean, it's not really that big of a deal, Yeah,
31 changes everything, Kurt. I think you're not taking this into consideration. 31 changes everything. I'm serious. 31's a big year.
No, it's not. It's just another day.
No, it's not. It's your birthday.
Thanks, Gardy.
Wow. Well, hey, good morning, everybody. Hanging out on 99.5 FM. If you haven't already, go download the KHEA radio app. That would be huge for us. It's going to be huge for you because you're going to be able to access so much more than you can already. You'll be able, number one, you'll be able to stream KHEA radio from anywhere in the world.
Yeah, and then you also got some member benefits where you can get 20% at Texas Pit Stop Barbecue, 20% at Burger Nation NASA, 15% at Escape Kima. I mean, there's just a whole bunch of opportunities to save when you download the KHEA radio app.
So I was thinking about a video, and I'm going to have to tell you this. If we were able to talk about this before the show, I would have, and I almost mentioned it to our intern who's awesome. But I have a great idea to promote the app via video. I know y'all are all shocked, but I have it should be funny, and hopefully I don't forget before the show's over because I want to tease it, and I don't want to tell everybody because I want them to be surprised, shocked, and intrigued whenever they view the video for the first time.
Ooh, shocked and intrigued KHEA radio? Well, we never shock and entertain anybody, right?
I don't know. You're right. I can't talk for everybody. Yeah. So it's 8:49. This is KHEARadio.com, 99.5 FM. Hey, we were talking about Shine on Lamarck for a bit, and I saw that there was a couple guesses. We asked a question. Kelly's Country Cooking. So there are multiple all over our area. There's League City. There's several in Houston. I know there's one in Alvin. There is one in Lamarck. There's 7 locations.
Right.
And we were asking you, which location do you think is the number 1 location whenever it comes to, the Kellys?
Yeah, so one of the things for our FM audience that didn't hear the conversation earlier in our show, we are dropping a Shine on Lamarck today for Kelly's Country Cooking in Lamarck. So we wanted to know what was the number 1 Kelly's Country Cooking. There's 7. There's some in Houston. There's League City. So which one is it?
Yes, that was the question.
Yes.
And let us know what your thoughts are. I see some guesses. There's some Lamarcks. We got a League City and maybe a Houston, but we're going to have to share that information later. We're going to let the question linger. But we have about 10 minutes, and then we have a guest. Curt, can you tell me about our first guest that's coming in 9 o'clock?
Yeah, we're going to be talking about, kids' birthdays. Twilight, your clown, and then Kicks and Giggles is going to be in as well. And they do birthday parties. They do kids' events. They were actually here at Abundant Life Christian Center for an event that we had, and they were blowing up balloons and stuff like that. So I don't know if they're bringing in the clown, the balloons, what they're going to bring in. They might bring in Iron Man. Who knows? But grab the kids and have them tune in and kind of watch and see what we're doing today. This is a kids episode.
Did you see any of the balloons that they made? Because I didn't.
I did. They were like dogs and, those fancy balloons. So it wasn't just like, hey, I'm going to blow up a balloon for you. It was like, hey, let me design this into something. So I think they can do dinosaurs and stuff like that.
So whenever you were a kid, what kind of balloons were you asking for? They make balloon animals or balloon art or I don't know, really fun stuff, right?
I don't remember ever doing that as a kid. Ever going to see a clown like that as a kid or somebody who could design balloons. I don't remember that. Maybe I blocked it out of my memory because it was a bad experience, but I don't remember it.
Okay. Birthday parties?
I don't no. I was never invited to birthday parties.
Really?
I was that kid. No, we had fun. I remember a couple sleepovers.
I can never tell when you're telling the truth and when you're just straight up lying to me. It's just all blends. I don't even know if you know the difference anymore.
I don't.
I never know. I never know. So that's going to be fun. If you're looking to celebrate a birthday, like our friend who was mentioning his 45th birthday was Saturday, maybe he had some balloon art out there. You know what's fun about events? I like all events that are family friendly. Now that I have a family, I have a 2-year-old and I have a 6-year-old, I always take that into consideration. Like if I get invited out somewhere, anywhere, or I'm planning my weekend, hey, there's a food truck park or, there's a Taco Festival happening October 12th. I want to make sure that it's family friendly so that way everybody has something to do. That's important to me. You probably don't care. You have no kids.
I don't have kids. It doesn't bother me.
So you want to go to places that are not family friendly, is what you're telling me.
It's not the first thing that I'm looking at when I think of events that I'm doing. Mm-hmm. It might actually be a little weird for me to go to an event for kids. If I'm going to
an event for kids, being family friendly doesn't mean it's an event for kids.
I realize, but if I'm going to Chuck E. Cheese by myself without a kid,
weird.
Yeah, it's weird. There's certain things that I can't do if I don't have kids. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know this.
Okay,
I'm just saying, but just because there's something you can't do because you don't have kids doesn't mean that you can't go to an event that's family friendly. Like 3 Acres Food Truck Park is family friendly.
Okay,
I look at that.
Yeah, okay.
The Taco Cook-Off happening October 12th right here at KHEA Radio in Abundant Life is family friendly.
Right.
It's important to me.
Okay.
You don't care.
It's not the first thing I'm looking at. No, it's not the first thing. I'm like, oh, I'm only going to family-friendly events.
I hate how you compared the Taco Festival to Chuck E. Cheese. That's the worst comparison ever.
Well, there's pizza, just the tacos instead of...
I saw a thing on Facebook for a recipe earlier today. It was a recipe, and it was Luis. Luis shared it, for chicken pizza. It was pizza stuffed chicken or something ridiculous like that. I think instead of crust, they just straight up used chicken. And I was like, I don't know what kind of diet that is, but that's one that I want to be on. I want to be on the pizza chicken stuffing diet. That's what I want. You know what's weird? Whenever I just mentioned pizza as well, my son doesn't like stuffed crust. I remember when stuffed crust came out in the 90s and I was a kid.
It was a big deal.
It was a game changer. And so I saw him, he was eating some pizza. It was from Pizza Hut. Stuffed crust, and he was like, I'm not going to eat. I was like, dude, I'm not eating pizza right now because I'm doing this special diet, but come on, man.
They made stuffed crust pizza for people who hate crust.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't get this. You've seen those people, right? They eat all the way through the pizza and then they get done and they leave the crust and oh, this is nasty. I'm like, that is the best part.
It depends.
You take that crust and you dip that in the garlic sauce, and then all day.
Well, not everywhere has garlic sauce, but whenever I go to CC's, like as a kid, we used to eat everything but the crust because then we'd see like, oh, I ate 20 pieces of pizza. But then I realized at CC's they have a salad bar. At the salad bar, they have like pizza sauce with, the marinara sauce. They also have like ranch and blue cheese and stuff that you can dip the crust in, and it just takes it to the next level.
Naola will not eat the bottom of the crust. So like eats the top part off the pizza but leaves the bottom crust. Especially if it's like burnt at the bottom. Yeah.
Just anywhere or like CC's or what are you talking about?
Certain places, yeah. Okay. And I'm like, what? But it leaves more for me to eat. I'll eat the crust all day.
That's weird, man. If I have to hear about something that Naola does one more time that's weird like that, I may have to use this bat and smash our gear. Just kidding. It is 8:55. We got about 5 minutes, and we're going to be talking about birthday parties, balloons, clowns. We're going to be talking about things that you can do to make sure that your next kid's birthday party is legit. It doesn't even have to be for kids. Maybe you want some entertainment at your adult party, or you want to make that adult party family-friendly so everybody will feel welcome to bring their kids.
Yeah, so that event is taking place October 12th. We're still looking for cook-off teams for the Talk of Taco cook-off. So if you want to enter your teams to compete in that taco cook-off.
Dude, that was a weird transition. You must have already been thinking about what you were going to say because I didn't mention the Talk of Taco cook-off at all, and you just like went into it.
Anyways, yeah, that's what I'm sorry. I was thinking about tacos now.
Okay.
Sorry, sometimes my mind
It's going to be one of those days, isn't it? I knew it whenever we walked in this morning.
It might be. But the Talk of Taco cook-off, enter your cook-off teams. Go to talkoftaco.com to enter.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have our guests hang out with us. If you're on the FM, I meant the Facebook. Dude, let us know what's up, man. Hey, Paul said if you eat pizza at a buffet, don't ever eat the crust. That is wasteful stomach space for the good stuff. Touche. Do you remember Pizza Inn? Did y'all have those?
Pizza Inn? Mm-hmm. What's a Pizza Inn?
It's a pizza restaurant. Y'all didn't have one?
I don't think so. We had Pizza Hut and Little Caesars. And that was, I think, it.
No Domino's?
No, Domino's. I didn't have Domino's until I got to, like, Vermont area. And that was the first time I ever had a Domino's.
Yeah. So Pizza Inn was a buffet, but, like, good, like a pretty decent buffet. I mean, they don't have them anymore. So maybe, like, my memory doesn't serve as good. But I remember just being like, oh, Pizza Inn's legit, man. But they had one in Dickinson. So if you're going down 517... heading east towards like Highway 3 and Dickinson Barbecue.
Okay.
There's a shopping strip right there before Algarve's Premier Martial Arts, and it was right there. I remember going there on Sundays, like after church, and tearing up Pizza Inn buffet like as a kid. It was legit.
Did Pizza Huts in this area have the buffet?
Yeah.
So that was like our Tuesday nights because they always had cheap buffet, like kids eat for like whatever. Oh, we also had a Valentino's. Pizza.
I don't know that.
Valentino's is like specifically for Nebraska. Valentino's like is legit.
A chain?
A chain. Yeah, it was like more of like almost like specific, like imagine like Whataburger, but it was for pizza. So it was like a Nebraska chain kind of thing. But the Valentino's was good buffet, and they had kids eat free on a certain night. So my parents would take us on that night to eat for free buffet.
Do they still do kids eat free things around here? Like I haven't seen one in a really long time.
I don't know if people make money off of that. That's like especially a buffet, because I would go in there and I would just eat the entire, like they were like running out of pizza, kind of like I'm eating like the whole pizza, and people are like, stop eating all the pizza.
Share some for everybody else. I haven't seen one. Let us know if there's a place. I know on Bay Area Houston Food Lovers, which is a great resource on Facebook if you're looking for local food to our area, go check it out. They used to have a tab for like kids discounts or like kids special nights, but then I saw somebody commented yesterday and was like, hey, where'd the tab go? So I don't know if they removed it or it was outdated and they needed to update it, so they just took it off, but I'm not sure. What's up, Christopher Beal? Good morning, gentlemen. Hope your weekend was good. Hey, it was all good. We are excited to be here. It's a Monday morning, spreading some positivity in Galveston County, and we are excited to have this opportunity. I see Mayor Pat Hallisey. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you for all you do for our community. Keep it up. We love League City for sure.
Hey, I want to mention before we bring in this other guest, did you see that event on Saturday where they had the League City Fire Department and the entire fleet was up We posted a picture on our Instagram of it, but it was kind of cool. They had every single fire truck was in the picture. And they were talking about how League City, which is a pretty big city. I think they were saying like 120,000 people live in the city of League City. The entire fire department is volunteer.
Yeah, I met and worked out on Saturday morning with a gentleman who was a League City Fire Department. He's a firefighter, right?
Right.
And he asked me, what do you do? And so I was just telling him a little bit. I like to try and make up stuff whenever people ask that because it's like the weirdest thing. Like, I need to think of more obscure things to say.
Of what you do?
Yeah, I don't know. Just like it's weird. It's weird to talk about. Then it's a lot of explaining.
You sit on camera with a bat on your shoulder.
See, like if I said that, like, well, I sit on camera with a bat on my shoulder, and they'd be like, huh? And I'm just like, and just leave it at that and be like, so what do you do? So I asked him, and he was like, I'm a League City firefighter. And I asked him how long he had been doing it, and then we started talking about some other people, and I was asking, how many stations are there? Yeah, I think he said there's 6.
There's 6, and they're looking at number 7.
Yeah.
They have 180 volunteers on the League City Fire Department. Like, that's nuts to think about. Because they're not getting paid. Like when they have their little pagers on and there's a fire, it's like, hey, I gotta go. And that's unique for a city of that size, but it kind of shows the testament of how important volunteering is. And I talked to one of them, Deborah, on Saturday, and Deborah, I believe her last name is Bly. She's been on the volunteer for 26 years. Her and her husband do it together. And it's kind of cool. They're like, yeah, we love giving back to the community. Why wouldn't you? And this is an awesome opportunity to help. And so here, you think of situations where you're running into possibly a house that's on fire and you're volunteering and not even getting paid and putting your life at risk. Like, that's mind-blowing to me, but people do it every day in League City.
Yeah, people do it all over the world. I mean, whenever it comes to volunteering with fire departments, that's a big deal, and it also is a big deal if you're volunteering for like nonprofits, if you're volunteering for, community service. I know there are like police department trainings, like citizen training programs. That's a big deal. If you take that initiative, hey, I have my free time, I could be doing this and this and this, but you know what? I want to be able to learn. I want to be able to help in my community and make a difference. So it doesn't matter what you are passionate about. If you have a passion, you find what you are, what makes you want to get up in the morning and go put some time in, whether that's helping feed people who are hungry, clothing people, if you want to, minister to them in any way, or join the volunteer fire department. It's so important to give back to our community. We're tightly knit here. Galveston County, Harris County, Brazoria County. These cities just like run in and out. It doesn't make any sense to me whenever I look at the map, but there's people that are way higher up than us that, design that. But just giving back to the community is so important.
We know a lot of the firefighters in the city of Lamarck when we go over to the fire station, the brand new one that's over here right across from our studio here. And one of the things that I've seen, when there's a fire, like let's say Santa Fe, and it's a big fire, who are they calling on? Lamarck, Hitchcock, the surrounding communities. If they need extra help, they're calling on those communities and saying, hey, we need your help. And they're going, know? And I think that shows a true testament of our ability in this tight-knit area to work together.
Yeah, that's what that dude that I met on Saturday was saying as well. He's like, yeah, we assist. Because he was saying how large they were with the 6 stations. He's like, yeah, we'll go assist, San Leon, which we had the fire chief on, not in studio, but whenever we did the firefighter games, we interviewed him and, like Hitchcock and all those other places. So again, we are streaming live on Facebook. We're not on the FM right now, but whenever we do switch it back on the FM, we're going to continue talking to our friends, and they're going to be sharing all the events they have going on. So I'm excited because I do see some balloons out there.
Woo!
I do see a lot of action going on. So hey, let's spread some positivity today. It is Monday.
Share it out.
Yes. Feel free to share this video. Even better, just type in some comments. Let us know what you got going on. Christopher Beal, good morning again. He said Pasadena is the largest volunteer fire department in the country. That's nuts. I had no idea. And Pasadena is not that far from us. Man, that's important. I know, Chris, that you have a firefighter background and I think continue to do stuff as well as a member of our community. So thank you for all you do and continue to do. We appreciate you. And okay, we were talking about pizza and we were talking about kids eat free. So I see some comments that I do want to read because this is some knowledge that I would feel bad if it wasn't dropped because this is great. So Jessica said, TJ Reed's has kids eat free on Mondays. That's awesome. Hey, guess what today is? It's Monday. So if you haven't been to TJ Reed's, tell them, hey, KHEA Radio said if I come in, I eat free, and hopefully that holds true. Like they're like, well, we changed that last Monday. I'd feel really bad, but just maybe call them first. But yeah, thank you for that, Jessica. And here's Jazz. She said, oh, Mr. Gaddy's, please. She said, Mr. Gaddy's, Tuesday, kids eat free after 4 with an adult purchase. Okay, so I was talking about Pizza Inn earlier, how the pizza was like, okay, this is really good pizza to be like a buffet, all you can eat. Mr. Gaddy's Pizza, I used to hang out there it was a while back, probably like 10 years ago. It's funny how time goes by. But 10 years ago, I was definitely an adult. Me and my buddies, we would go kill that buffet at Mr. Gaddy's. Then we'd go play all the video games, and it was so much fun. That was like our Sunday afternoon like outing, and it was just a blast. So shout out to Mr. Gaddy's, and we actually met someone who does their marketing and PR at an event at Art of Coffee that Kelly Redinger puts on called More Than Just Society. And so we met her. She was there. I was actually looking at her business card. I think that was this morning that she had handed to us, and it has some free food on there as well. That's the best kind of business card, except someone's not going to hang on to it. It's going to be like, hey, here's my number, my contact, but you can also turn this in and get some free pizza. So that's what's up. So, man, I need to hit up Mr. Gaddy's. Oh, Margaret said Mr. Gaddy's pasta. Right now I'm in the middle of I hate saying the word diet, but I'm eating pretty clean. And I'm doing intermittent fasting. So times are tough. Keep me in prayer, but I'm holding strong. And so this is like 3 weeks left, and then I'll be good to go. But yeah, it's going to be a good one. I see Curt out there hanging out. He's actually getting some balloon animals made for himself, it looks like. He's requesting a knight, like armor that a knight wears. He's asking them to put him in a whole suit of armor. So let's see if they'll be able to do it. I don't know. That's a lot of balloons. So we'll see. Again, hey, let me know what you got going on. Good morning, Ashley. We're just talking about places to take kids to eat. Not only just taking them to eat, but taking them to eat somewhere where there's free food, like kids eat free. So far, we got TJ Reed's on a Monday. We also got Mr. Gaddy's on a Tuesday after 4, whenever an adult buys a buffet as well. But I remember that used to be like a popular thing. Or I also remember whenever Cece's Pizza was like $1.99 or like $2.99, and now it's a little bit up there, but it's totally worth it. They realized like kids like me and Curt went there and just totally messed up everything. And they're like, why are these kids can't eat that much? This doesn't make any sense. So they're like, we got to jack up the price. I also saw this meme earlier today, and I had seen it before and I think, anyways, it says Jack in the Box tacos, whenever I was in high school, were 99 cents. And now, 20 years later, or however longer later, they're still 99 cents. Either they were overcharging me, 20 years ago, or inflation is just like a joke. But I think they actually did make the price of those Jack in the Box tacos go higher. They're like $1.29, somebody said. But either way, hey, tacos are delicious. Has anybody tried the Jack in the Box tacos? I saw a recipe somebody shared in Taco Taco. It was like, make your own make your own Burger King tacos. Here's the recipe. My mom, that's how we made them growing up. Fried tacos, like fry the taco shells, boom, and then it was good to go. So that was like one of the staples of my childhood. That, chili, spaghetti, and like hamburgers. And then as we got older, I remember, and I made some this past weekend, it was salmon. Oh, salmon's good. Curt was, is it fair to say that you were jealous of my salmon I was eating last night?
A little bit. I mean, it's pretty good. It looked pretty good.
Yeah, so we have some guests in the studio. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. And there's also some beautiful balloon art. How are y'all doing today?
Great. Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for hanging out with us. I like your tag. I like when anybody comes in with a name tag. It makes it so much better and easier. So we got Twilight, your clown.
That's right.
He says Google me.
That's right.
So
I am Twilight, your clown. I'm everybody's clown.
And what's the other one stand for? There's another, it says URAQT.
That's right. Thank you so much.
Touche.
You are a cutie.
I need to walk around with that every day.
Right?
Everybody's always telling me I'm a cutie. I don't know why.
I think
love
it's your
it.
cool hair.
You know, I tell the kids I ate 100 bags of cotton candy and my hair turned pink.
Oh, do any of them try it?
You know, they might. They might. And so I tell them, and their parents just give me the look like,
Really?
thanks a lot.
So we have Twilight.
Yes.
And what's your name?
Lisa, I'm with Kicks and Giggles, and we do the kids' birthday parties from setup to cleanup, or we come with just characters.
Okay, cool. What kind of characters could we get?
Well, I have over 150 characters, and they're look-alike characters anywhere from Spider-Man to Baby Shark.
I love Baby Shark. I love Baby Shark. That's awesome.
So if we were, let's say, interested in being a costume,
I already know the answer.
we would contact you and say, hey, like maybe I already have a costume character, like me in a hot dog suit. And you say, okay, yeah, you can come and be a part of our kids' party.
Sure, but I don't know. Nobody's really asked for a hot dog or anything like that, but
Not
you
yet.
never know. But we do, where we go in, we'll either do character appearances for many different characters, or we do the complete setup to cleanup. And with that, I provide everything. All the parents have to do is provide the food and the cake. We do, I bring the children's size tables, chairs, linens, all the table decor. We play the games, serve the food, cut the cake, open the gifts with them.
Eat the cake.
We do, yeah.
We'll eat it all for you, too. Man.
We do the goodie buckets, a craft, face painting. I take pictures throughout the party, and we clean up the mess. It looks, to kind of sum it up, it looks like for little girls, like, for instance, the tea party or the spa party, it looks like a little wedding. Everything's decorated, and all the parents have to do is provide the food and the cake, and we take care of everything else from setup to cleanup, and they get to remember what happened at the party.
Yeah, that's a big deal because I've had birthday parties at my house and I've cooked. Like, it's like, hey, Dad's going to grill, or like we're going to order Chick-fil-A. And I love grilling, but then I'm just out there. And then, like, having food catered, it was, like, so much easier. So, like, I can only imagine having somebody be like, hey, we're going to set up the party. We're going to provide the games, the entertainment, all the family fun. Hey, we're bringing it to you so you can enjoy the moment. You know, take photos and just be in there instead of, like, I'm working it, right?
Right.
So that's the
Right,
benefit.
Yes.
Okay, cool. You know, I thought earlier, whenever you were talking about the 150 characters that are offered, because Curt will sometimes go around saying he looks like Brad Pitt.
I
Hey,
do.
we need a Brad Pitt. You never know.
I mean,
Yeah.
look at my face.
A Brad Pitt lookalike,
we need
right?
a Captain America. We need,
A hot dog.
yeah.
I mean, Hot Dog Chronicles.
There you go.
Okay, we got 13 seconds. We're gonna go on the FM and reintroduce you all to our FM audience as well. Keep it going with our Facebook family, and here we go. Good morning. This is KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. It's Kickstart. I'm Gardy.
And I'm Curt.
It's 9:13 in the morning on a Monday. TGIM. We're excited. It's going to be an awesome show. I feel like a lot of energy just entered the room, and I'm feeling like a kid again. Is that fair?
I feel like a kid. Like I feel like I want to go jump in a bounce house and eat like cotton candy.
Woohoo!
How many bags?
8.
8 bags?
Only 8?
Only 8. Okay,
He
16.
doesn't want pink hair.
Yeah.
I do want pink hair.
Oh, you got to eat 100 bags.
So we got Twilight the Clown in studio, and I believe it's Lisa, right?
Yes.
Lisa, and we're going to be talking about what you can do to plan the next party. Do y'all ever have people come and say, like, hey, this isn't a party for kids, but I want y'all to come so that way y'all can do like my event or my party, and then it's family friendly. Is that something that y'all offer as well?
Definitely.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, cool. And Twilight, can you share Like, where did you go to clown college? Like, how do you prepare to be a clown?
Stop talking about Hastings College that way.
Because Curt went to clown college.
Oh my gosh.
Not officially.
I believe it.
He always says that, and I'm like, come on.
You said it this time. I didn't say it.
Well, there is a clown college, but I did not go to a clown college. But I started this in 2004. I needed a part-time job, and I had some friends who did this on the side, and I said, hey, I want to be a clown. And they're like, I don't know if you can do that. And I said, I wanted to give it a try. So they started teaching me different techniques with balloons and face painting, and then I went every year to Sagemont Church. It's called Joey to the World.
Joey?
Joey to the World.
What's
And
that?
It's a clown convention.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Oh,
and
Joey's are another word for a clown.
I guess so, yeah. But I went there for about 8 years, and it's about a 3-day event, and they have all kinds of classes, improv, puppetry, magic. They have all kinds of vendors there, and we just had a blast. And so, but then it moved up to Dallas. So I've been doing this for about 15 years now, and now all of us Houston clowns will get together and we'll have balloon jams or face painting jams, and we just have fun, and we teach each other new balloons, and so yeah.
That's cool. Do y'all take the same car?
You know what? I was in a clown commercial, and we fit a lot of clowns in that one little car. So.
I want to see this commercial now.
It's okay.
I think sometimes clowns get a bad reputation. Like if I was talking to somebody and I was like, dude, you're being a clown. Like, stop, settle down. Like, it's gonna be okay. Stop. Act right. And you're clowning around. There's a lot of language that I am guilty of throwing around. Is that offensive? If so, I apologize. Let me know your thoughts.
No, I don't get offended by it. I'll play around and have fun with it myself. So I just kind of add to it. So, but
how many parties do you think that you have put on, Lisa? With the business.
I started back in 2008.
Wow.
Before that, I did weddings. This is a lot more fun than weddings. I've done thousands of parties where we just go in and bring a character and do visits. I do family nights at Chick-fil-A's and McDonald's and Juanito's and Pearland and just all over town. I go from Galveston to Conroe and everywhere.
I saw the Chick-fil-A at 96 and South Shore.
Yes.
Is having a Baby Shark night.
Yes, we'll be there.
Okay, I was wondering if whenever you mentioned that, like Baby Shark, I was like, man, August, it's like the third weekend maybe in August or so. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, Baby Shark night, that's what's up.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We'll be there this week, too, with Angry Birds in the morning.
How does that work? Is there like an Angry Bird costume, or is it just Angry Bird theme? Cool.
Angry Bird costumes.
And we're going to be there tomorrow night, right?
Tomorrow night we'll be at 646, and that'll be Baby Shark there as well.
At League City on 646 Chick-fil-A.
What do the kids do? Like whenever they see their favorite characters?
Oh, they
in
love
real
it.
life?
They go nuts.
Yes. Yeah, they have a great time. The characters dance with them, and
they come up and give you a big hug.
Yeah. Can they sometimes not handle it? Because it could almost be like overwhelming. Like, oh my gosh, I'm just seeing like Baby Shark. You're my hero. Or like Angry Birds or Thor.
Sometimes the littler kids might be a little scared at first, but they usually come around, and then the parents can't get them out of there. So they may start out a little nervous, but by the time it's over, the kids want to stay there with the character.
Yeah, I think the last family event like at a Chick-fil-A I went to, I think it was at a McDonald's. It was Star Wars, which was interesting because there was like Darth Vader there, and like as a kid that was almost like a little intimidating. So my kids, I'm like, you want to go take a picture with Chewbacca?
Right?
It was different than like
Angry
Birds
we have
or
Darth
Baby Shark.
Vader and Chewbacca. We have those, and Luke, and Curt could even play Luke.
Ooh.
Luke Skywalker?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I feel the Force right now.
I was going to say, because Mark Hamill, he also voices the cartoon Joker. I was going to say that'd be a little bit better. He can be the Joker.
Definitely. That would fit him well.
speaking of the Joker, he's probably one of the most famous clowns out there. Are there any other clowns that you have, looked up to, or maybe they're in movies or in cinema, in any form of entertainment, or maybe even real life? Like, is there anybody that are like, they did it right?
Yeah, I know of a lot of Houston clowns, and there are so many. There's one on the north side. Her name is Happy Heart. She's awesome with balloons. We've got Suzela the Clown. She's in the Pearland area. We've got Sky the Clown. There's Shelly. I mean, there's just a lot of, I know so many Houston clowns. We've got, there's Michelle Anderson, and she does all these huge bubbles. And just everybody has their own technique and their own specialty that they do. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
And whenever it comes to you, like, what kind of balloons do you like to make? I asked Curt, like, hey, as a kid, do you remember going to, and he was like, well, I didn't get invited to a lot of parties. And I don't believe him, first of all. But what is the most asked, like, balloon art? Like, what do people ask you to do? Like, whether it's a kid, adult, or whoever.
Right. Well, let's see. I do a lot of birthday parties. And so sometimes you may have 30 kids there, and you've got an hour to do all these balloons. So, a lot of times they'll want, the boys love the swords. They want a sword. The girls like little princess wands, flowers, butterflies. So at birthday parties, you tend to make a little quicker balloons. At restaurants, they may want more detailed balloons like mermaids and princesses and outrageous hats, just all kinds of different things.
So it gets pretty outrageous.
It gets intense.
What's the craziest thing that you can make?
The craziest thing, I can make a humongous unicorn, like a unicorn hat, but it's huge. And so that's kind of the latest craze right now. So
yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So how has being a clown, you said you started in 2004, and then you've been doing it for 15 years. How has it changed, I guess, for you from the beginning to today?
Right. Well, I used to work in the corporate world, and, did that Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 every day, drove in that Houston traffic, sometimes an hour, 2 hours in the Houston traffic, and then I would work my Twilight clown on the weekends. And so I just really enjoy being my own boss, and the kids are awesome. And so I started doing this full time in 2011. So I've been doing it full time now. And so yeah, I just enjoy it.
And Lisa, you started the business in 2008, going in, and you switched from weddings. How long had you been doing weddings before you started doing the parties?
Let's see, probably back in the early 1990s, I did weddings.
Yeah.
And then, I worked in the mental health field too. So I thought, I need a change. And so I decided that, hey, I'm going to try this. And I always decorate like crazy for every holiday at my house, and my kids' birthday parties were always over the top. And my friend was like, you should do this. And I'm like, oh, I don't know about that. And so she said, well, I want you to do my granddaughter's birthday. And I was like, okay. Well, so I did the birthday party, and then there was somebody at her house that said, hey, I need you to do my son's birthday party. And it kind of took off from there, word of mouth. And then I started getting busier and busier. And then I ran into a friend of mine that worked for Chick-fil-A and said, hey, would you come do something at our Chick-fil-A? And then it just kind of skyrocketed, and I was very blessed. And that's how it kind of all began. I was only going to I have 3 boys, so I wanted to do something girly. So my thing was I wanted to do tea parties, and that's what I was going to set out to do. And well, tea parties turned into having one princess. Then here I now have 150, and I do every kind of theme party you can think of. And I do custom things. I do decorations. I do milestone birthday parties.
Do you have like just the people hanging out in like the warehouse? It's like, all right,
all
your
the
chance.
Avengers, Baby Shark, and it's like your time to shine.
Your time. Come on, let's go. And they're like, yes, I finally get a chance to come out of the warehouse.
It's like
I have
Pokemon. I choose you.
We have Pokemon too. I have about 13 high school and college kids that work for me, and I keep them pretty busy, and they have a lot of fun. So
Lots of energy.
lots of energy. I wish I had some of their energy sometimes, but they just dance and they like to be silly and have fun and make kids happy.
Yeah, I think it would take a very specific individual to fill that role.
Oh yeah.
Like you said, young, energy, good with kids, able to, I don't know, be flexible.
Yes.
And that's
Definitely.
It seems like it would be a fun spot to be in, though.
Mm-hmm. But I keep them busy. We do stuff almost every day of the week, and then weekends, of course, are our busy times for birthday parties. But we do a lot of weekday events at restaurants all over town.
Okay.
I tell people that I party every weekend. Literally.
Yeah, that's what we do.
That's cool. Kurt was talking about his birthday, how it's coming up, and it's a joint birthday party.
It is a joint birthday party, so I'm super excited about that.
And I'm not sure where it's going to be, but do you think there's a possibility?
That it could be a costume party? I mean, I'm
There you
down.
go.
That's what I'm
yes,
thinking.
That would be
definitely.
fun.
Oh, yeah, I'm dressing up all day. The penguin suit might just have to come out.
What's the penguin suit?
I don't know yet. I'm working on it. If I dress up like a penguin, that's going to turn some heads.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. You
I can
have to
teach you a
find a way.
balloon or two.
Oh, yeah.
I can make you a penguin balloon.
Can you just make stuff? Like if somebody said, like, can you make this? And you'd be like, yeah, I could probably figure it out. Or
Yeah, for the most part, I can either figure it out or sometimes you can look on YouTube real quick and just kind of see how to make it, and then I make it for the child. So.
Is it easy to make the balloons? Is that something that Gardy and I could do? If we sat here in the next because we got 30 minutes or so, is that something we could learn in 30 minutes to make a dog?
Yeah, definitely. The first two balloons that anyone learns to make is the dog or the sword. So I definitely can teach you that, and you can learn that.
that's
Gardy,
cool.
did you ever want to learn how to make a balloon out of a sword?
I want to learn how to make a suit of armor.
Oh,
A balloon suit of armor.
that
for
might
you.
take a while.
That would be cool.
Yes, I think it would be. Or like a balloon baseball.
I've seen
so
Captain America shields, yeah.
So I can hit it. I was taking some practice swings outside, or a balloon baseball bat. That might be nice too.
That might be
you go.
less intimidating to our listening audience or our guests who come in to see a balloon instead of an actual Louisville Slugger.
I don't know. Agree to disagree. Agree to disagree. So it's 9:27. We're going to take a quick break on the FM. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. All right. Hey, if you're watching on Facebook, feel free to ask some questions. Number one, the first question I have is, do you have kids? And number two, do they have birthdays? So that's the very important things. If they do, then this is an opportunity for you to ask some questions.
But I feel like parents aren't just going to be thinking about this for their birthday.
That's true.
Kid, gets A's on the honor roll. Let's throw a party.
Right.
Or you want to go to one of the family nights. How long have those been going on? Because maybe I just realized whenever I had, my son, that, hey, this is a thing. Usually on Thursdays I'll see him.
They've been going on for at least 10 years or
Yes.
more, quite a while.
Yeah.
I've done the same Chick-fil-A for 11 years.
Really?
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I didn't notice till I had a son. Or maybe he noticed. He's like, oh, Paw Patrol, or
Right.
I don't know, some of those cool shows. With it being a time where they're making a bunch of remakes, like The Lion King, Aladdin, are those things that you're like, oh man, we got to get some Aladdin costumes, or maybe you
Yes.
already had them?
Yeah, I really have to keep up with the times. I know which character's coming out, and I follow that because I get a lot of calls. I have to be ready for that birthday party that the parent wants.
Oh, yeah.
Something.
And the same with the balloons. New characters come out, and we have to learn, the new character balloons. So it's, it can be a challenge sometimes as well, but it's it's good as well.
Yeah. Are there ever any parents that are sometimes difficult to work with? And how do you handle that?
No.
I can feel like there are some certain parents that would be. I would have a hard time working with parents.
For the most part, no. Everybody's happy. It's a happy occasion. I have a lot of repeat customers. I haven't had any issues.
See, I would be like, this is my party. I'm planning this party. You accept it. Like if somebody had any complaints, I'm like, no, this is my
You
party.
sound like you might be a little difficult.
Yeah, maybe.
Gardy's nodding his head like, look at that look.
Oh,
I work with him every day.
I feel for you. No,
He can be difficult to work with.
Wow.
And you know what?
It's the hardest part as a creative.
Right.
yeah.
Just
I'm
pray
the
for me.
creative.
Okay. He's the delusional one. Like, that's
Who's
the one.
the clown in here? Who's the real clown? over
I've
there?
been waiting the whole time for that to happen. Like, we got a clown in studio. Well, I told Gardy before, I'm like, you're going to say this at least one time. He goes, we always have a clown in studio.
Always.
I didn't say it. Not even once.
Not yet.
I didn't have to. So-
Everybody already knew.
So you mentioned, weddings and, the birthday parties, they're a happy occasion. People are pleased, right?
Right.
Can you share about that transition? Because you said, hey, it's more fun to do the kids' birthday parties. But I think of weddings, and sometimes there's a term thrown around called a bridezilla, where
Yes.
if you don't know what a bridezilla is, then, it's probably good. But,
Right.
and it's a big day.
Right.
And that's important. Birthdays are a big day, but weddings is like, hey, this is one time.
That's
Right.
her day.
It's not
Yeah.
perfect. Oh my goodness.
Right.
Like, how was that?
It was very stressful at times because everybody's on pins and needles, and like you said, everybody wants it to be perfect. But I would go in and I would decorate the reception and stuff like that, and usually by then, the nerves are a little bit more chill
After the
actual ceremony, and everybody's there to have fun then, So
I guess that's probably where I come in.
yeah, it's probably more fun on my end where everybody's coming to have a party and celebrate the event. So
And on my end, is they may have me come in and do face painting or balloon twisting or glitter tattoos or something like that, or play games with the kids. And so it's my job to keep the kids entertained so the bride can have a lovely day.
Wait, you would put what?
What?
I've never been at a wedding where they've had like kids events.
Well, it's a family friendly,
yeah.
right?
They do.
yeah.
That just opened my mind about like my future wedding, where we could have stuff for the kids to be doing.
Yeah,
There you
because
go.
the parents sometimes they can't get a sitter, so they'll bring the kids to the wedding, and kids don't want to sit still for that long. And so there'll be like activities to keep the kids busy, but the parents know that the kids are in good hands and they're in the building and they can have fun. And we've even had characters come to the wedding. Like a bride had a princess theme, where it was Beauty and the Beast, and so different things.
Who was
you can
the
do.
beauty and who was the beast in that wedding? Though? Like,
So, there's different things. We do a lot of corporate events. We do bridal showers, baby showers, like I said, milestone birthday parties, the 30-year-old turning 30, turning 50, turning 60,
Quinceañeras.
quinceañeras. I go in and I decorate for everything. Any kind of theme you want, any birthday, you name it, I do it.
That's cool. When we were talking about weddings and the themed weddings, and you're like, I didn't know. I was thinking, what do you think about having the entire wedding party dressed up like clowns for your wedding? Is that something that interests you?
no, because this is going to sound super weird coming out of my mouth but a wedding isn't a time to clown around.
Very serious.
It's very serious. I want them in tuxes.
You want them in tuxes, okay.
All of them, both sides.
Hey, that's cool though. The idea of having entertainment for the kids. I've gotten invitations to weddings where there are no kids allowed for whatever
Right.
reason. That obviously, if you can find childcare, I'd love to go. Sometimes you can't, so then it's like, hey, there's something for my 6-year-old to have fun. Maybe get face painting.
Yes.
Man, face painting can like change a kid's life. Like it changes that night. It's no joke. It like if there's a bad mood,
turn into
hey,
Batman.
yeah. And it's really cool to see that happen. And so you that's something you do, right?
Yes.
You do face painting.
Yes.
What are some of the things that you can do?
Well, the girls, they love unicorns, princesses, princess crowns. The boys love any kind of superheroes. Batman, Superman, Flash, Captain America, Ninja Turtles. And so, I paint all their faces. And so you have superheroes running around everywhere.
Yeah. Do you ever get any like weird requests or something like that's a first?
I do. One time, this was just a year or two ago. I did a birthday party. It was a lot of maybe 12-year-olds, and it was a lot of boys, and they all wanted their face painted like Pennywise.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
And so there were literally Pennywise clowns running around everywhere. I said, "Oh my gosh, what did I just do?"
Yeah. Oh, that's so crazy.
And so yeah.
Okay. So here's another question for you, Lisa. Whenever it comes to theme birthday parties, like what are you seeing right now? Like what is the major request that people are? Is there something that keeps kind of repeating itself?
We do a lot of princess themes, superhero themes. Those are going to be the two most popular. Unicorn theme and Mickey and Minnie theme. Mm-hmm. I also do the candy theme. So everything is based on candy. The decorations are candy. We do a candy bar. There's just so many different things. But I would say the number one is princess and superhero theme.
Yeah.
Why is that? Why is princesses like a big deal for little girls?
Well, the princess theme parties, to me, it looks like a wedding, but for a little kid. I mean, it's very fancy decorated with chair covers and bows and crystals on the table, and
I think the little girls like to dress up.
Yes,
they like to look like a princess.
We provide costumes for the kids to dress up in. I provide the little princess dresses unless they come in their own. Mm-hmm. And for the superheroes, I provide the costumes for the kids to dress up in case they don't have their own. So it's just fun. They get to actually experience kind of being a superhero or a princess that day at the party.
Yeah.
And everything is themed around that. So we play superhero games, and we do crafts, and everything is related to that theme of whatever the birthday party is.
Yeah. And picking that theme, for my son is a big deal. He's changed his mind.
Yes.
His birthday's in November. He's had, as a little kid, he's like, I want a Bubble Guppies party, which I love Bubble Guppies. It's a great show.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is.
And then there was
I don't have kids, so I don't.
He wanted.
You will soon find out when you do have kids.
I was thinking of the different themes, but for so far now, he wants a Roblox party. Are y'all familiar with Roblox?
That one's a new one to me.
Yeah, that's a new one to me.
Okay. It's a game. And so there's a bunch of characters, and you go in there, it's interactive, and so that's kind of what he's into now. But I think it may stick because it's a lot of fun.
Oh, okay.
We will probably soon find out about that. I'm sure we will.
Yes. So right now it's 9:37. This is KHEARadio.com, 99.5 FM. If you're watching on Facebook, hit the share button and let us know, what are you up to today? Also, maybe type in a memory that you had from your favorite birthday party as a kid. We had a lot of slumber parties whenever I was young.
I remember my favorite birthday party, and it's only because I have the picture and I can see the picture in my head, but it was in September. My brother's birthday was in August, and so that year they did a combined birthday, and my dad rented a limo took me and my buddies to Hastings for the IMAX.
Okay.
And so there was an IMAX movie theater, and I think Michael Jordan's 23 was playing on the IMAX.
Oh my God.
So yeah, rented a limo to drive us an hour and a half away to watch an IMAX movie of Michael Jordan. And then that night, I remember there was a birthday cake, and Nebraska was playing Notre Dame, and so the birthday cake was Nebraska Notre Dame. So I remember the entire event. It was a lot of fun to be like, hey, look, I'm in a limo. It was kind of cool.
Aww.
What year was that? How old were you?
I had to have been in middle school because it was in my
age.
I it had to have been middle school because it was we were at the new house already, and we didn't move in there until middle school. So but I wasn't in high school yet. So I was probably 7th grade maybe.
So is that late 90s, early 2000s? Early 2000s?
2001, maybe 2000. But I just remember driving down the interstate because we took the interstate. And I'm like, yeah, I'm famous. All these,
You're so famous.
all these common folk in their regular
Everybody's trying to look in the
folk
window
car.
to see who's in the limo.
Yeah, it's just like, 7th grade Kurt.
Oh, how funny.
Oh, man.
I
Sounds
think
like
it's
a good
neat
time.
because sometimes I will be working at one of my Chick-fil-A's and I will have people come up to me and they'll say, "You did my child's first birthday," and their child is 9 now. So
Yes.
I love hearing that. And
Yeah.
sometimes they'll even have pictures still on their phone. So
Yeah, watching them grow up is really neat.
yes, definitely.
That's one of the things that I find intriguing, though, is it's those memories that, you ask me all the time, hey, tell me about that time when you were a little kid. And it's just like, oh, yeah, that happened. And it's kind of cool what you remember or what you think about. I mean, I'm sure I had tons and tons of birthdays, but it's funny that that's the one that you think of, and it's just something cool that, I don't know how much that limo cost, but it probably wasn't expensive. And we've talked about this. My dad wasn't like a millionaire, like he worked a regular job, and we probably were living paycheck to paycheck at some points.
But that's something that you
Remember for the rest of my
Yes.
life. And I think my dad knew that, secretly he knew like, hey, we'll do this one big thing, and he's going to remember that the rest of his life. And I associate that with my dad, to this
it was
day.
definitely worth it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And parents go the extra mile for their kids because it is it's one time you're going to be 8 years old, or 3 years old. So the experience itself is something you'll have forever.
Yeah, you base like your memories off those big events.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's like events, and that's kind of where you will go back and think of, oh, whenever I was 5 years old, this happened. You think about those major events. So it could have been like your birthday party.
Right.
So it makes sense to invest in those, as a parent now, to see like, oh, the
Yes.
parties. Yeah, that's what they're going to remember.
It's pretty wild sometimes to think about because Lisa and I mean, we have separate companies, but yet we do we've done thousands of birthday parties. And to think that we are in so many people's, their photos, their memories, their,
Right, yeah.
it kind of means a lot to me too.
Yes,
So.
it does. Yeah. And, it's funny because I have a young girl that works for me that when she was younger, I went to her little sister's birthday party and I did her party. And so she was like, I want to work there.
That's
and
cool.
So,
Yeah.
and I have a lot of people that, follow me and have followed me throughout the years. And they'll come to events with, now some of them have their own kids. Some of the teenagers that I used to see and some of them that used to work for me are now starting to have some of their own children. And so it's really kind of fun and it's nice to see them grow up and to become young adults that are having children and sharing this with them as well.
You mentioned you have 3 boys.
Yes.
Do they work with you?
Sometimes, yes.
Do they get what roles do they play? Like the characters, or are they just like helping oversee?
They do both. My boys are big boys now and 6'3", so they don't really fit in the costumes anymore.
That's like Thor. I'm thinking
Yeah.
like Captain America and Thor, like throw them in one of those.
Right?
Chewbacca?
Yeah,
right. It's
Darth
really
Vader.
cool, yeah.
But they'll help me out. Like if I need somebody to take people to events and stuff like that, they'll help me out like that and help me get stuff together and unload and load my car. I don't know if they really like doing that, but
It's mom. You gotta
but
help.
yeah. Yeah, so it's kind of, and my husband, he's really he helps me out tremendously, and so it's kind of it's family fun.
Of course.
I already told Lisa, I said, I have 2 12-year-old nieces. I said, give them a couple more years and they'll be little princesses for you.
Yeah,
That'd be
Yeah.
fun. So this question is for both of y'all. If there was one thing that y'all are not doing right now that you could add to what you do already, what would that be? Is there something that you could see happening, in the next 5 years?
I would like to do the big, humongous, giant bubbles.
Ah.
Kids love bubble parties.
Like you blow the big bubbles?
No,
Or you
they're-
get in it bubble?
You can, well, it's like the soapy bubbles, but You make gigantic bubbles, and you can even get inside, or you can get inside one
Like
of
a
the
big
bubbles.
thing?
Yeah,
Yes,
Oh,
I've
that's
done
cool.
those at birthday parties.
Yeah.
They are a lot of fun, and the kids love it.
they do. They
I mean,
love it.
any party you go to where there's bubbles, the kids, even the adults, they like it.
It's fun.
They love the bubbles.
Even the
So,
parents get involved.
Yes,
I like
yes.
it outside.
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely outside.
definitely
Definitely outside.
It makes me think of that, on Thursday when we celebrated our 10,000 likes, we had that gun that shot the confetti. It's that bubble gun.
Bubble guns are legit.
Oh,
You
Yeah.
know, easy.
Yeah, because whenever my kids do bubbles, if they're doing this one, I'm just like, oh man, I'm just like, it's all over. Like, go further in the grass. But man, now they have like these little machines where you hit a thing and it just like bubbles and they run in it.
Yeah.
And then there's like these the bubble gun where you just like and just
Right.
pops them out.
We even I even do for like the Frozen theme parties. I do snow. So
The movie Frozen. Cool.
So we'll have I have a snow machine and it blows snow and it looks like
That's
the
cool.
kids are playing in the snow.
and you'll be busy soon with
Yes,
Frozen
Frozen's
2
coming
come
out
out.
again, and we sometimes did 9 parties a day with Elsa and Anna on a Saturday and a Sunday. So it gets crazy, but we love it. It's a lot of fun. Just seeing the kids smile and think that, oh my gosh, Elsa or Anna or whoever character came to my birthday party, and they think they're the real deal, and it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
I saw it was a news article, but it was about a 18-year-old girl, I think in like Hong Kong or something like that. She threw an 18 birthday party and it spent like $35,000
Oh
on
yeah,
the birthday.
people spend,
they
a
spend
lot of money.
Especially
Her
I see a
dress
lot
was
of
$15,000
Yeah.
alone, and I was like, dang.
Yeah,
I see
lot
a lot of
quinceañeras
first
are-
birthdays that they'll go all out for the first birthday.
Yes.
And then the quinceañeras, they go all out. So yeah.
I was in a quinceañera when I was in high school. That was a lot of fun.
Yes.
Did you
Yeah,
get a
those
ride in a
are fun.
limo? Is that why?
He likes to ride in limos.
I think we rode in something. Like, I don't know if it was a limo, but I remember a big car.
SUV or something?
But I remember this. You're gonna think that this is bad, but so my best friend was like, it was his girlfriend's at the time quinceañera, and so Kurt decided. Well, it was a bunch of us inside of the party. We were like, hey, we should kidnap like his girlfriend and do like this like scavenger hunt during the quinceañera.
Oh no.
It didn't go over well.
No, maybe not.
That doesn't sound like a good idea. That doesn't even make any sense.
No, it didn't make sense at all.
Poor girl.
How that works? Like, what happened? I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, we brought it did not go over very well. We had this awesome plan. Yeah, it wasn't good. It was
Yeah.
not good at all.
Yeah, Kurt's what grade? Like, I guess that's like early high school.
Yeah, early high school.
Ninth
It didn't-
grade.
Ninth grade.
Yeah.
It didn't go over
Wow.
very well. It was a quinceañera that, it was fine in the end, but it was just one of those like my best friend didn't want to do the scavenger hunt, so it kind of ruined it. And I was like, oh man.
His girlfriend probably didn't want to either.
No.
Oh.
No, it was like, yeah, she was part of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
it wasn't
So
like
who was getting kidnapped? What?
It
I
was
thought
like
she was getting kidnapped.
She was, but it was like, yeah, it was a planned, like,
Oh,
hey,
okay.
we're gonna go on this cute scavenger hunt.
This is
Play hide and seek.
Yeah, maybe you explain the plan to your best friend like you're explaining it to us now, so it makes no sense. And he was just like, nah, I'm just gonna stick out. Okay.
Young Kurt for
Young
you.
Kurt, we got about 8 minutes left. We got 20 seconds. We're going to go back on the FM, chat for a bit, remind everybody how they can get involved and contact you guys
Okay.
and learn more
Sounds good.
or go to the next event that y'all are going to be at.
Definitely.
So here we go, 15 seconds. But we're streaming on Facebook. If you're watching on Facebook, smash the share button, put some comments in, let us know. Maybe a party that you remember, let us know if you plan to use any of these services. It's KHEA Radio. Here we go. Good morning. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. It's Kickstart. I'm Gardy.
And I'm Kurt.
It is Monday, TGIM. It's 9:48. We're excited. We're having a lot of fun.
All right. Good morning.
Talking birthdays.
Yes. We got Twilight.
Hi. How
Your
are y'all
clown
doing?
in
That's
studio.
right.
So if somebody has never experienced you at a party before, can you kind of describe what you bring to the table whenever they call on your services?
Sure. I guess I normally do birthday parties for younger children, ages 2, 3 on up to about 8 years old. I do some children's magic. It's not big, elaborate magic. There's no live animals or fire or anything like that.
Yeah, or like sawing people in half.
No, we don't saw people in half. But
Okay.
and so we do children's magic, and then I play games with them. We bring a big parachute. I do the balloon twisting, face painting, and we do music and dancing. And so most of the time, for about 10 kids, an hour is plenty of time to do all of that. If it's around 20 kids, I would say 2 hours. And so that's what I bring. And then the older kids tend to they enjoy the balloons, the face painting, or they like really messy games. Like I do this one game where we get the dads and we sit them in a chair, and I have the kids put shaving cream on the dad's face like a beard, and then we throw Cheeto balls to their face to see, and whoever gets the most Cheeto balls on their dad's face, they win the prize.
Are the dads okay with this?
Some of them are a little surprised.
Do you tell them what's going on? Be like, just sit here, and then or is it like a surprise? They volunteer? Because I would think twice.
I
have
have them volunteer. Yes,
Okay.
I have them volunteer.
Or you you kidnap them, like Curt Quintanilla style.
Right? Yeah.
Like, you're gonna sit there and get Cheeto balls thrown at your face.
Man, I'm never gonna get over that. But I do like having cheese balls thrown at me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna
Do
complain.
an egg toss or something. Or
Yeah. Why are you gonna throw eggs at me?
It's clown stuff, man. I don't know.
You know, I will say this, Twilight, and I think we've seen you, but you've helped out with Jennifer Lopez Fuller's events before, right?
Yeah.
Maybe Bay Area Houston Food Lovers events.
I'm not
think
for
so.
sure.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But one of the things is it's not a scary clown,
Right.
You know?
No.
Who was it? Bozo who had the clown as you were growing up? The TV show.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Bozo? Oh my gosh, that clown scared me. Like those kind of clowns. Like with the big red shoes.
Yes,
and
the big features, big facial features.
Clown
So-
shoes.
Yeah, I don't like that. But this clown I can handle.
Yeah,
you know, like this is lovable fun for the kids.
Right. I don't wear the big facial features or the big shoes because I'll trip and fall all over myself. And and the kids, sometimes I'll put glitter. They like the glitter and the sparkles and things like that. So I mostly do that, and not the big mouth or the big nose or anything like that. So.
One of my favorite things a clown has done, at least like on TV or cartoons, is like the flower that squirts water.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's fun. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It just is.
Or you can get some the pretend mayonnaise or the mustard and the ketchup bottles and
Like the string.
Yeah, with the
comes
string that comes out,
Oh,
yeah.
I like that. That one's fun too. So we also have Lisa in studio. Lisa, can you remind everybody the name of your business and what you offer as well?
Okay. My name's Lisa, and I own Kicks and Giggles, and it's KIKKS and Giggles. And we do the complete setup to clean up birthday parties, or we come with just characters. We have over 50 different theme setups. I also do custom themes and over 150 different characters. We do all types of birthday parties for any age. And it's a lot of fun, and we keep them entertained with face painting, crafts, games, you name it.
I see Colleen Merritt just got on, and she helps out with the city of Lamarck. They just opened up a new Market on 3, which takes place on Saturday mornings. Do you guys do vendor events? And, because I feel like that's a fun thing. Mom and dad goes and shops all the vendors. The kids sit there and get their face painted and balloons.
Definitely, yes.
So how can somebody contact you if they're interested in using you, not just for a birthday party, but possibly for an event or a vendor?
They can either contact us through my website, which is kicksandgiggles.com, or Facebook page. My name is Lisa Reeves, and my Facebook is Kicks and Giggles. And my phone number is 281-221-8931.
Cool. Is there anything else y'all would like to share while y'all are here today?
Well, people can contact me. On my Facebook is Twilight Your Clown. And you can either call me or email me. My email is twilightyourclown@gmail.com, and my phone number is 832-577-8186.
All right. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
Thank you.
This was a great way to start Monday for sure.
Yeah.
I still want to learn how to do some of the balloons.
I will teach you some balloons. I will.
That will have to be something that we have to do for sure because it would be fun.
We'll make y'all some swords, and then y'all can beat each other with a bunch of wet noodles.
That sounds like a great idea.
Great idea.
I'll use this one.
Oh, no.
Well, she'll make you a balloon bat.
Yes, I'll make you a balloon bat.
I like this one.
For Kurt's protection.
For my protection and the equipment's protection.
Right?
It'll be okay. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. Coming up next is United. Oh, you bring. You can stream us from anywhere, KHEAradio.com. You can also download the KHEA Radio app. If you haven't done it yet, go do it right now. Search KHEA.
Awesome. Thank you guys. We're going to be talking to Groove Adhesive after this. They're a local band that does jazz performances and stuff throughout the community of Houston. So it's going to be fun. We're going to talk to them about music and everything else.
Oh, those Ninja Turtles are awesome.
Gardy loves Ninja Turtles. You know, Gardy, I don't know if I should tell you this because I know you're still pretty disappointed about your mystery gift that we got. But the other option that I had was I was going to get you and I Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle little dolls or
like
what
figurines
instead.
That'd been cool.
But I thought this would have been more
instead he
fun.
got me the Grim Reaper.
Oh, no.
He was like, "Here you go," and I'm like, "Is it? What are you trying to tell me right now?"
It was a mystery. It was one of those mystery ones where you don't know what you're going to get, and that's the one he got, you know?
It's very sick and twisted.
Well, if you have us come back, I'll have to bring some of the characters and we can clown around and have fun
Yes.
with
cool.
the characters.
I'll dress up like the hot dog.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Make 'em all
And
jealous.
hey, and I know how to make a hot dog balloon, so I'll teach you how to make a hot dog balloon.
There we go.
We'll have to go and check you guys out whenever y'all are at one of the local
Yeah,
places.
Yeah.
Hang out.
Tomorrow night we'll be at the 646 Chick-fil-A in League City.
All right, cool.
5:30 to
Shannon.
7:30. Yeah.
Shannon,
yeah,
yes,
Shannon's over
Shannon.
there.
I love
Uh-huh.
Shannon.
Shannon
She's
Johnson.
great.
We need to still pick the winners of the year of
keep
Chick-fil-A, you know, but we do have a giveaway going on right now
Oh,
for
awesome.
year of Chick-fil-A.
That's
Oh.
great.
So go search for our giveaways on our Facebook page, and you have a chance to win a year of Chick-fil-A.
Wow.
We have to pick
That's
the winners
great.
today. We'll pick the winners today.
So yeah, tomorrow night we'll be there from 5:30 to 7:30, and it'll be Baby Shark and Pink Fong will be
And
there, and
Twilight.
Twilight the Clown doing
Pink
balloons,
Fong.
and we'll be doing face painting.
Awesome.
Very cool. Well, yeah, thank you guys.
Thank
y'all are awesome.
you.
It was nice to meet y'all. Yeah, again, Groove Adhesive is going to be in here and hanging out with us here in a bit. Kurt's going to go check on him here for a bit. So thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I like this. This is here's a selection of the characters, as you can see. But there's Batman. Oh yeah, you can leave him here. I'll take one. And a dog. We'll show off some of these. And a flower. So here, does this have the same? Like if I was to use like the, well, this flower may work the best. If I gave up the Louisville Slugger and just had this flower instead, does this
a lot
look
more friendlier.
as good? So yeah, balloon animals. I'd be scared that I'd pop. Whoa! I thought it did pop. That I'd pop this thing. But yeah, these are cool. So kids love balloons. I mean, I love balloons. Everybody loves balloons. Who doesn't love balloons? Do you not love balloons?
The cool thing is that my old school, we had like this balloon club or something, and we basically learned how to.
Make balloon animals.
Yeah.
That's cool.
The first thing was obviously a dog and a sword, and then we went to like making hats and stuff.
Yeah. So the dog, he's probably like the intro to balloon animals, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Making a dog. But here's this cool thing. So I'm going to look at the back of this flyer while y'all look at the front. So it's Kicks and Giggles, theme parties for all ages. We also had Twilight, your clown, in studio. But on the back, there's SpongeBob. And there's like every Disney princess ever. And then here's another one where they're just like, look like they're rocking out theme. And then on this other side.
Olaf at the bottom.
Say that again?
Frozen. There's Frozen and Olaf at the bottom.
Oh, yeah, Olaf, Frozen, Spider-Man. And again, here's one of my favorites of all time, the Ninja Turtles. And look how cool they look. So, what's up, guys?
All right.
How's it going?
All right. Whoa!
We got some balloon animals.
Where did the board go?
The board is gone. It's covered in balloon animals. So here's something that y'all could think about for y'all's next gig, right? Groove Adhesive here in studio, hanging out with us. Balloon animals. Y'all bring in Twilight, your clown.
Checking that out before. That's interesting.
It may be fun. Hey, there's no other jazz bands that have that kind of entertainment. So that way it's like, hey, something for the adults. There's something for the kids. There's something for everybody. There's no excuse why you cannot come out. There's entertainment all across the board.
What is this one?
There you go.
It's a flower.
Oh,
Smell it.
I was trying to think it was a sword, but I'm like,
That's not a
doesn't look
sword.
like a sword, but it is. It's a flower.
We were looking at it upside down.
I was looking at it upside down.
It's beautiful.
For sure.
Yeah, and then we got a dog, and there's this heart.
This interview just went downhill from here. It's not going to get any better.
Yeah,
from
I wasn't totally prepared for this direction.
from
at all.
balloons. So yeah, balloon animals. Let's
There
go.
you
You know.
You need a plug? Is there a plug on the bottom, Kurt?
I don't think that we do.
What kind of connection are you looking for? Here, you can use this one. Is that okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
But that way I'll be able to do the.
Sure. Yeah. Because my iPad's like 100%. It stays up plugged up forever. So we're good. So we had the opportunity to go hang out with you guys, really watch you perform, not too long ago. And we know Kevin, and then you came in and played drums.
That's right. Yeah.
Here at the church as well. So share with me, when did you start playing music? Was it always the drums? And how did we get here?
Sure. Well, it actually ties in nicely. I started playing the drums whenever my arms were long enough to bang on things. I'm sure my mother would agree that that's the truth. But there was a band that would play in church on Sunday mornings when I was growing up, and I'd always, how kids are, at 3-4 years old, drag your parents to that seat that's right next to the drummer and watch it. It's such a visual instrument. So really, as far back as I can remember, and church would have been the first thing that, I think a lot of drummers would say that's where you start to see a drummer and go, wow, that's cool, I want to do that. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then
All the
step
way
2
back.
is going to Guitar Center, and you're able to play on anything and everything as loud as you want.
That's true. As a kid, you're not that picky. Pots and pans. I mean, you don't need to wait for Guitar Center. But yeah, got a drum set by, I think, 4th grade or so, and then it was off to the races from there.
Yeah, and jazz music is a bit different. Has it always been jazz for you?
It has. My grandfather passed before I was born, and my mother's idea was I'm going to show my son all of his record collection, and that was all jazz records, Miles Davis and Dave Brubeck and Coltrane and those guys. So that was music to me at a very early age. So I kind of got there first and went from there to other things, which is a sort of a different way of going about it, but I think a good way of going about it.
And how long has Groove Adhesive, that's the name of the group, how long have you been playing together, and how long have y'all been doing this?
We came together as a group, as a present group, for about, let's say, April or May.
Yeah.
Yes,
I screwed it up. I got married late March, so I stalled it for a couple of weeks.
They had to wait on you.
That's right.
Well,
They had to wait on her.
congratulations. That's
more
still very new.
Absolutely.
How has married life been so far?
It's been great. It's been great. We say all the time the best part is we don't have to plan a wedding anymore. So that was a lot of work, but we had a great time, and now it's all fun and games.
Hey, that's a lot of work, isn't it?
It is. That was a full year of planning, and she did a lot more work than I did, obviously. But it was a great process. But we're glad to be on the other side.
Yeah,
for sure.
I've been married for 5 years now, and I'm trying to say this in the best way possible. Is like, I'm glad I don't have to do it again. But, she did all the planning. She did everything. But, man, it was stressful on me, and I did nothing. My job was to show up on time, and just wear this. Like, they picked it out for me and everything. But still, I'm just like, everybody's looking at me. Like, what's going on? Oh, man. But, it's great. So,
Absolutely.
Married life. And so you play the bass in Groove Adhesive. Can you share your name?
Correct.
And then, how long have you been playing?
Jelando Johnson, and I am the bassist and co-songwriter for Groove Adhesive, and I've been playing. I'd say I stopped counting after 20 years.
Yeah, it don't even matter anymore.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Has it always been jazz music for you?
No, actually, I didn't get into jazz until I got to Texas Southern University.
Okay.
Before that, I would listen. I didn't have a big record collection of jazz artists. I would mainly hear on the radio groups like Spiral Gyra, and George Benson, when they was playing jazz on mainstream, they back in those days. But until then, it was whatever else came out of the radio, R&B and top 40, pop, even a little country, because I would go up to East Texas where my grandparents were from.
That's cool.
And so, and then I got hip to jazz, or I got bit by the jazz bug, I would say, once I got to college and started playing in the jazz ensemble. I did that, and I would need to listen to the music so I can be able to play it. And I got bit at that time, and listening to musicians like Miles and Thelonious Monk and Herbie Hancock. And then as a bass player, my favorite guys would be Paul Chambers, Ron Carter, people like that. And I would study those guys and really get into the music. They had a station there, and I would they would let me come in and school me even more. After I get schooling with the jazz ensemble with my band director Howard Harris, I would get schooled even more at the radio station now. And so that was education in itself, and I've been loving jazz ever since.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah,
Okay, so y'all are all monster musicians. It's a 4-piece, correct?
correct.
And can you kind of share, what instruments you have? Everybody, there was not really any switching. Everybody kind of had their instrument, stayed in, locked in. Y'all have a set that's almost like an hour of all original music. Out of all the musicians in the band, all 4 of you guys, who is the most versatile in style? Like, because you were mentioning, hey, with the country music, I grew up playing R&B, and then the jazz. I know Kevin. Kevin's our good friend. Yeah. He's pretty versatile as well.
That's right.
The guitar player, he's a monster as well whenever you put that thing in his hands. So if y'all had to say, and I want to hear both of y'all's answers, who's the most versatile? Like, you put him in any situation, they can adapt.
Oh, wow. I mean, Kevin's the easy answer because he plays keyboard and bass and flute and God only knows what else. But I think one of the things that we were looking for and kind of how we got together was, we're all sort of Houston musicians, which means that we play everything. You play a little bit of Latin one night and some blues and R&B another night, and some top 40 another night, and straight ahead jazz another night. So I think we're all we see that in each other, and that's sort of what makes the band what it is. You have a better answer than that?
He's gonna be like me.
Yeah, he's gonna
that's what I'd say.
him.
Like, oh, it's me.
Well, I would
say
say Kevin is definitely the multi-instrumentalist of the band.
He's not here. Y'all don't have to say Kevin.
But
it's tough.
But I
know.
think that but I think that actually we all play in different situations on any given weekend, and so I would have to say that we all can go from blues to R&B to country at the drop of a dime, and as musicians and full-time musicians, that's so very important.
Yeah. I see Ricardo Daniels tuning in. I know Ricardo, whenever we went and checked you guys out last time y'all played, we're talking to Groove Adhesive, that Ricardo was there. And Ricardo, he's a musician and has been doing it for a long time. Pro guy, setting up, doing it. And it's not easy. It's not easy to do that, especially when you're married. You mentioned you just got married. Are you married? No. So it may be a little bit easier, but no, it's still not easy. Man, it takes a lot of time.
It does. It's
how do you balance?
It's still a task, and it does require some discipline and to be able to go from one extreme to the other. Good thing about it though is that we love what we do, and so we just do it. It's hard to explain. We just get into the groove and we just take care of what we need to do. We don't forget about the important stuff, but we just do what we have to do.
That's a cool sign. Look
go.
at that.
Is there a way to see it? Here, on mine.
Hey, we got about a minute left, and then after that, we're going to go on the FM as well. We'll reintroduce you guys and kind of keep it going and having some fun.
Sounds good.
All right.
Let's see. Yeah, 55 seconds. I am interested, and y'all have to answer this now, but we were talking about, you were saying like the adhesive or the groove, but like just the name. And I'm always interested in like, how do y'all settle on the name? Whenever like one person has an idea, it's kind of like, okay, that's a good idea, but I feel like mine better. You know what I mean? And so like, how did y'all like narrow it down? Be like, everyone's like, oh, it's pretty cool. But
I think for both of us, the name kind of was there. The genesis of the band, I think, is sort of Josh first. He's the guitarist, wrote most of the original songs. All these songs are original, which I think is real important to us. And we have a few extras that we've added since Preamble the last time, so y'all need to come check that out. But as it started with his original material, I did a record with him back in 2013 with all of his tunes. And ever since then, I've been bugging him, hey, when are we going to do another sort of original project? Because that was so much fun. And I think Josh always just was, I'm busy, I'm doing other things, whatever. And then, as you know, Kevin started bugging him about, let's do some original stuff. And Kevin is persuasive and stubborn, and talked him into it after a lot of persuading. So it came from those two getting together saying, we want to do some original material. Who do we want to play with? So they brought the two of us in. I think Groove Adhesive was already something Kevin been talking about before we got there, and I didn't have a better name. I think it is. We were talking about this on the car ride up here about one of the coolest things about live music and jazz music is that you have to listen to each other. You have to take what you're playing, connect it to what I'm playing in the moment, full speed. Hopefully with some interesting creative thoughts along the way. So that adhesive is really I think a good indicator of what we're doing, what we're trying to be. Four guys playing creatively, but also really connected to each other.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. So we got 15 seconds. We're gonna go on the FM right now and hang out. So we got a cool sign. Curt, do you want to wait and show off the sign?
Yeah, we'll wait just a little bit.
Okay. Well, we're not going on the FM then right now. So I'm gonna put auto back on. Is that what you were saying?
No, I was saying we could go on the FM and then.
Oh no! Well, yeah.
Okay, cool. So Kelly, she's got to fix one thing here, but this is Kelly Williams. She has the show Riding the Wave with Angie and Kelly, which airs Monday afternoons at 3:00. But last week we hit 10,000 likes on Facebook. Eldridge, I don't know if I have a camera shot over there though. Here,
pull it up right here. Pull it up. Yeah, just Eldridge, and then face that way, and then just swap that one out. Where do you find sparkly poster board like that? That looks awesome.
Kelly, you can use this mic here. Maybe.
Hobby Lobby.
No, you can't.
Oh.
It's goofing. There's something with the settings, but I can hear you.
Awesome. Yeah, so she got
Hobby Lobby has it.
This is awesome. This is legit. Yeah, we broke 10,000 likes on Thursday. We're going to have to find a spot for this sign.
Is that real silver?
Yes, it is. I hand painted it.
And that's your thumb, right? Like you traced the outline of your thumb.
I did. You've got a very large hand.
So really fast before we go back on the FM here really fast and talk more Groove Adhesive, you guys have a really cool guest today, right? It's iCryo, right?
Really cool guest.
We cannot wait. And he has a brand new investor that's in cryotherapy that we're going to talk about today, and it's very cool what's happening.
That's
so
awesome.
We're excited.
I went and did cryotherapy once.
Awesome.
It was very cold.
It was cold. We had no idea this was happening, by the way, guys. We had no idea that this sign was coming in. This is kind of cool.
And I didn't want to interrupt, but I was excited I didn't get to celebrate with y'all last Friday.
Yeah. Well, we're excited too. Hey, so keep smashing the like button and sharing out this content so that way we can get to 50,000 by next month.
Yeah, and take a look at our new. Oh, that would be dope. But our new koozies. They have our faces on them.
This is legit.
Yeah. Yeah, so
that's what we need right there. There you go.
Y'all could have two on one, the members, and then two on the other side.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, so these
I like
are
the
from
face artwork there.
Kevin may try and make his face a little bit bigger than everybody else's.
It'll be him on one side, 3 on the other side. I have a feeling.
This is from our partners at Southern Sass Vinyl and More. So thank you to them. They brought these last Thursday.
Cool.
They brought a T-shirt as well, so it was kind of cool.
Awesome.
Did you see my picture, by the way, with your Got Tacos T-shirt?
No, I've been waiting to see y'all in your Got Tacos T-shirt.
I posted it with a picture of me in glasses and said, when you love tacos but need to hang out in Austin. Because I looked like a hipster. I was being facetious. It's on the Talk of Taco group.
Oh, okay. I need to go see that.
Yeah.
Yep. So let's see. We got 50 seconds, and then we'll go on here. We have all these cool balloon animals in studio, so you really never know what's going to happen whenever you tune into KHEA. Right now, we're going to be chatting with Groove Adhesive about all of the original music that they have. We're going to be talking about, why jazz music. For me, jazz music's too hard. I'm not that good. It's like, you got to be good to be able to play jazz music. And, man, sometimes it's not comfortable. It's not easy for me. But, yeah, I guess for you guys, man, y'all come together, you find some like-minded musicians, and you make some magic happen. So we got 15 seconds, and we'll go on here. Let's just go right now. Here we go. Good morning. This is KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. I'm Gardy.
And I'm Curt.
It is 10:14, and we have Groove Adhesive in studio. We also have Kelly Williams, who brought us a really cool sign that's falling right now. It's a silver sign, and it's thanking everybody for liking our Facebook page. But, yeah, Groove Adhesive is in studio. Guys, can you introduce yourselves and then share what you do in the group?
Sure. My name is Jordan Alms. I'm the drummer.
And I'm Jelando Johnson. I'm the bassist.
And y'all are playing like local places. I've seen y'all in Houston. I've seen y'all here in like the Webster area as well. And y'all are amazing.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
We play at Preamble Lounge every first and third Tuesday. It's right there in Webster, right off of 45. And then all over town in Houston. I think our next Houston show is at Natsuo, which is right there on Main Street in the heart of downtown. Trying to get a bunch of original music out in front of people.
How easy is it to write original jazz music?
It's not.
It's not. Yeah, that's a yes or no question. That's a no.
It's not. But it's enjoyable once you get your ideal and you get contributions from the rest of the band.
So does somebody bring in like a riff or like a thought or a melody, or you kind of have a structure? What does it look like for you guys? Because y'all knocked out a lot of songs, and I'm going to say in not a lot of time. If y'all were doing it in like April, kind of started, and now y'all have a record's worth of music ready to go.
Yeah, we filmed you guys the other day.
That's right.
And you guys did 7 songs, I believe, and they were all original songs.
That's right. And we've got we had one that we didn't do that night that we'd already had up, and a couple more. Actually, are going to world debut. Is that a term? This Tuesday we've got exactly a couple of new tunes. I think it depends on the song. I mean, a lot of times somebody will bring in a fully finished song with charts and the whole thing, and sometimes it's not quite that finished, and it's more of a collaborative process.
Yeah. Whenever y'all write music, do y'all end up charting it out?
Yes,
y'all do.
Right, because it helps us to always be on the same page, and then to have that plan in front of us. We're able to make adjustments where we need to as well.
Yeah.
And not have to just rely on memory.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not that smart. So
there's a lot of notes.
There's a lot of, and the structure is complex, right? A lot of these songs will move from one time signature to another time signature. There'll be some hits. There'll be some, the first ending is weird, and then we go back to a second ending that goes to a different bridge that's in a totally different feel. Like Jelando was saying, you need to write that stuff down to have any prayer. After a couple of weeks or months of playing it, for sure we've got it all memorized and in our head. We don't use the charts anymore, but yeah, for that learning process, the first couple times, we're hanging on for dear life for sure.
Yeah. So switching time signatures. If somebody's not familiar what that means, they're listening on 99.5 FM or they're on Facebook watching this stream right now. That relies on you a lot, right?
Yeah, both of us. Drummers and bass players have a special kind of connection. We're responsible for all the hard work, and then the other guys just come in over the top.
They
get
a shine.
Good. That's right.
Right?
That's exactly right.
Yeah, nobody knows who the drummer and bass players are.
If we accomplish nothing else, we're trying to make that point today on the radio.
You guys
can impress that upon your listeners.
Like nobody knows who you are, but you guys are the foundation.
That's right.
There you go. That's the magic word, foundation. And we try to keep it as strong as possible, because when the foundation is cracked, the whole building falls.
Yeah. Yeah, and that goes for all music, not just jazz, but is it even more important in jazz music?
Well, it is for this music.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think anything that's true of what the rhythm section has to accomplish in any style of music, in R&B or pop or rock, we have to do the same thing in jazz, where rhythmically everything has to be grooving, and you have to bob your head, and you have to actually have a pulse and something that lives in the music. But then, like you said, if technically it's also harder, then you got to accomplish all that groove stuff with all of the technical difficulty, and that's what the real challenge for us is to be in a foot in both worlds at the same time.
Yeah, and it's not easy. If you had to say, if there's one thing or two things, or maybe there's a lot of things, but what makes jazz music jazz music? Like when is it considered jazz? What makes it that?
Saxophone.
It could be. That's what I'm saying.
That's it.
What is it? But I don't agree.
Yeah.
It helps, maybe. I don't know.
You can have jazz with that.
But I think the thing about jazz is that it's based off of the writer's interpretation of whatever they're putting out there, and it's the listener, whatever they interpret that music to be, that's what it is. It's just up for whatever they feel it to be. There's no right or wrong answer as far as when you're listening and like, okay, what is this? What does this say to you?
Right.
Well, whatever it says to you, then that's what it is. And so jazz, the beauty of jazz, instrumental music or whatever, is that you get to write your own story and paint your own picture.
I love that. Original like art, whether you're an artist or you're a chef like Chef Mary Bass, or you are a musician, you're creating something that nobody else in the world can do. It's original music, and that's a big deal. What does that mean to you, Jordan?
Oh God, that's the ultimate reason that we're doing this. All of us play in more commercial bands, play for corporate top 40 bands, play in a blues group, play here or there, all over town. And the idea is to make a living, and that's important. Food and roof over your head. But I think we all see it as the highest form. The thing that we want to do the most musically is to create original music. And it doesn't pay the bills for the most part. So this is really a labor of love. I think that's the main thing when people come out to check out what we're doing in this band. This is what the music we really want to make, and this is the sort of artistically what we're hearing, the thing that we want to share with people. I think that comes through.
Yeah, whenever you get feedback from people, I mean, obviously, I guess positive feedback, or like you see people like jamming or like they're into it. How does that make you feel?
I mean, that's the best thing, right?
It really is. It's actually priceless.
That's probably the biggest compliment. Whether they say something or not. I saw a meme on Facebook, and it was like, it was this little kid, and they were making this like nasty face.
Oh,
and it was
you saw that.
This
Yeah.
is the best compliment that any musician can give to another musician. They don't have to say anything else, but they're just like, oh, that's nasty. And it's just
100%.
Like, yes, it is. Thank you.
You know, one of the things that I love about music, and maybe you guys can talk about it a little bit too, is the other day, it was Saturday night, like I was at a concert, and a song came in my head as another band was playing. And I reached out to a buddy and I said, hey, do you remember that band? I don't remember the name, but I think they had this one song. And he's like, yeah, it was it. And so I downloaded the whole album on iTunes, and we were driving away from the concert. And I was literally, it's been 15 years, 16 years since I probably jammed to this band, right? But I could sing every single lyric of that song without hesitation at all. And I was like, man, that's crazy. Like, I haven't listened to this in 15, 16 years, and I can sing every lyric of every song. That's crazy.
Yeah, music hits you in a different way. It can pull back memories. It can pull back like all kinds of feelings, emotions, and specifically, what does jazz music mean to you guys? Like does that have that, even like playing something, you're like, oh man, I feel that. I remember the first time I heard this record or anything like that.
Sure. I think Jelana probably has a similar memory of when you're a kid, you're listening to records for the first time, and you're listening to whatever your parents have in the house or wherever you get to go, and it's really your whole life. You go through, and what are you playing in middle school? What are you listening to in high school? What groups are you starting to play with, high school and college? And then one of my favorite parts of living in a place like Houston is you get, in one set we'll cover some Latin music, some blues music, some funk music, some rock music, some jazz music, and it's all over the place. And you like you said, digs up memories of, I remember when I had this concept, or when I learned about this, or when this idea came to me. And you kind of you live that full range of a musical life all the time, because you're picking up stuff. Oh man, I remember when I learned that when I was 9, or I remember when somebody just told me that a week ago. It's always kind of churning that up inside you.
Yeah, one of the best pieces of advice I've ever got was from a a music mentor, I guess, in my life, and they said, and actually there was a little article that came out, and they asked like, hey, what's a piece of advice that you have or something that you've taken with you? And it's like, just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should. And that was said to me like in a music format, like just because you can play it, hey, doesn't mean you should do it. But the more I thought about it, that goes about everything in life. You know, there's a lot of decisions that you make. You know, even like with the band, I'm sure I'll had other opportunities. Like just because you can doesn't mean you always should. You know, pursue something. But as a jazz musician, it's different than like a pop musician or like even a worship musician. I don't even understand. Like y'all are gonna have to share with me like how do you get that good to be able to play and pull this stuff off? How much practice goes into this?
It comes down to not how much practice, but the practice that you do. If you sit down to practice, you should get to the point. You should have some points where you're getting frustrated, ready to quit, ready to throw your instrument up against the wall.
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically.
Then you do it, and then you come back the next day.
But-
you're like,
But the point in all of that is that you're doing it to get better, and it may take an hour, it may take 5 hours, but you know you're not getting up the same as you was when you sat down to practice.
yeah, stretch yourself, right?
You know, you have to challenge yourself, and that's focus practice, and it took a long time for me to get that. You know, a lot of times as musicians, you know, our egos, you know, we sit down and we just start doing stuff we can already do. That's not practice. You know, practice is when we are trying to figure out this one part that's giving us, you know,
Something you can
HEA
do. Yeah.
to learn. But the reward is actually figuring it out,
Yeah.
getting it done, and then it also benefits the rest of your playing too. So that doing years and years of that is how you know, we just get better as musicians. Continue to strive to get better. You never get there, but keep doing that. You know, that's how we get where we need to be.
Awesome. Hey, what's the goal for the band even in the next year? It's still a brand new band.
Sure. I think it's layers. When we got together initially, the first thing in our minds was we want to create a bunch of great original music, and it's really as simple as that. And now we've got at least an hour that you all saw, and then we're hoping to add a second hour for this Natsuo show coming up at the end of the month on the 23rd, I believe. So creating original music that we love is the first and primary goal. But after that, we'd love to do an album project. We'd love to get out of Houston and share some of this with either people San Antonio, Austin, Dallas, Louisiana, or maybe nationally. We're trying to keep it open-ended and not limit ourselves. There's a lot of cool stuff that we can imagine trying to do, and we're not sort of limiting any of it right now, I think.
I feel like, okay, this might come as a weird question, but I think it'll maybe get at some good debate. But is jazz on the dying end a little bit? When you think of like things, you don't think of jazz. You think of like, at least maybe my generation, it's like EDM, techno, you know, stuff like that people are listening to. I don't know a bunch of people in my generation that are listening to jazz.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. You want to take that?
It is. I take a stab at that.
All right.
I think the thing that's happening is that jazz in one form, or let me say it like this, you go back to the masters, they've always been about pushing the music forward. And even Miles got to the point to where he didn't play his old stuff. He always played what was happening in the time. So he went from the straight ahead to the classic music of kind of blue to music sketches of Spain and all the way up to Tutu and the Manla, stuff like that. But the point is, he kept moving forward. And jazz is, the masters intended it for the music to move forward. Unfortunately, people have associated music with museum music type of background kind of stuff, but not necessarily pushing it forward, reflecting the times that we're in right now.
Yeah, because there's like you think of smooth jazz, like easy listening, and you mentioned like, hey, that's what, in the elevator. Sometimes people may correlate that with, oh, jazz is just background, like background music, but it's not. We went and watched y'all perform. It's original songs, and you're pushing the envelope for what jazz music is, and like you said, the time signatures, man, you got to pay attention. And you can watch the same set 2 times and miss and pick up stuff that you didn't see the first time because there's a lot of notes in there. And it's really easy when you hear the word jazz, if you're not a fan or grew up listening to it, to think like, I don't know jazz. I'm not a fan of jazz. But it's different. You can find something.
Yeah. I think it's language, too, at some level. When you talk about separating between what jazz is and then what museum music would be, and this is what Miles was great at, jazz is a way of communicating more than anything. So the exact language that you're using can be all over the place. You look at somebody like Robert Glasper, who's using a lot of hip-hop and R&B gospel chords and new stuff that he's creating. And that's jazz in every way. I was playing with a chicken picking kind of country Telecaster playing guitar player and I guess it was a jazz trio. And that the sound sources there are totally different than anything that you would associate with jazz. But it's jazz where you have a form, you have a basic melody and harmonic structure, and then you're improvising and communicating with each other. So the media, the way of communicating is the jazz, and then what language you use, what kind of words, what kind of dialects you use could be just about anything you want. You can make jazz out of almost any kind of musical style you want.
When you say communicating, are you talking about the musicians communicating with each other or you communicating to the listener?
Hopefully both, right? I mean, if we're doing it right at all. I think when that's an interesting way of putting it, because when you're talking to each other, I'm talking to an expert this way. And you want to do some of that with the listener, but you also want to be able to reach anybody who maybe hasn't studied jazz for 20 years and this very bizarre, random piece of music theory isn't going to totally impress them because they don't know what you're talking about, but you can reach them some other way. There's some other musical language that that you can communicate to them. So you're always trying to do both, I think.
Yeah, you see like memes and other stuff on social media where it's like somebody can play the most technically sound, like amazing thing, and then somebody picks up the guitar and they may play like Sweet Home Alabama, and everyone's like, oh, like I know that song, or like an EDM song comes on and it's like, all programmed music. A lot of these producers, they probably are talented and they know like, notes and the theory behind it, or I've also seen, I'm not going to say one, but I saw like there's a thing called like Masterclass, and it showed up sponsored on my page, and it was like he's like, I don't really know, I don't really know what this is, but it sounds like, pretty much he was saying like it sounds good. How does it make you feel whenever you see stuff like that?
I think at some level, if it sounds good, that's a really good start. Even in a super technical world like jazz, if it sounds great, I mean, Miles would think that's a good idea. But it is a little frustrating that you want them to push it a little further and get it a little beyond just the simple palette maybe that they have. And the jazz world is so much bigger than that. I think that's the main thing.
Yeah, Curt, how does it make you feel whenever a DJ does that build up? Like, and then
it feels great. I love it. I love
there
it.
you go. There you go.
It just built something in my heart.
Would y'all ever incorporate any of that, like even like programming, or is it like no, that's too much?
I want you guys
to
to
check with Kevin first, right?
I want to see the groove adhesive.
That could maybe be like an intro for a video or something.
We'll use the balloons for that for sure.
Yeah.
And it's just a little with him with the saxophone one hand, balloon in the other.
Yeah, Kevin's a great guy. He has y'all probably know his background better than I do, but he's played on, very, very versatile, and he can pick up an instrument and be like, oh, I don't play this, and then he starts to play it. I'm like,
it's annoying. Yeah,
you just said you didn't play that. Like, what are you doing right now? But
he can't sing though.
Show off.
That's something that makes me happy.
Yeah, one day he's gonna sing though. Yeah. And he's gonna be great.
He's gonna hear this, and yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You guys don't have any vocals.
Not yet.
Are you auditioning? Because I got great vocals. I
think so right now it's a 4-piece. We're actually adding a percussionist and a trumpet player who also plays keys. on this Tuesday at Preamble.
Cool.
7:30 to 10. I was told to say that. And seeing how the group works as a 6-piece as well. I think it'll evolve. It's always going to be sort of a 4-piece in theory, but we're curious to see what other different kinds of sounds and people will affect the music. Vocalist could happen for sure.
How can somebody just come in? I guess they have the sheet music they have to look at, because somebody can't just go up, and maybe percussionists probably not. There's so many different hits and time switches and stuff. You just can't just like sit in like, oh, I'm gonna sit in. I mean, maybe if you're great enough, then you could, but it would be very difficult.
Yeah, we've definitely had a rehearsal.
Okay, good.
We're not gonna pretend otherwise.
Yeah.
Okay, can you make it 7-person, and then I'll learn the jazz flute.
Kevin will give you a run for your money on the flute too. That's the scary thing.
Well, I've watched Anchorman, and I've seen how he can use the jazz flute, and I've imitated all of it. So we just need that one song. I mean, I can play inside of a water glass. I mean, I got it all for you.
Speaking of another Will Ferrell movie, it's Talladega Nights. Whenever they're over by the jukebox, and he's like, you got the dude who drives the Perrier, car. He's like, why did you stop the jukebox? Did you not like the Oz music? Whenever I think of jazz music, that scene comes to mind.
Sure.
Can you do that again?
I've never seen it.
He's practiced that. I can tell you that much. That was not the first time.
Gardy just drops like any soundbite from that movie. It's like one of his favorite movies, right?
Want to go fast?
It's not it's not one of my favorite movies. It's a good movie. That's not one of my favorite movies, but it's a great movie. Right now it's 10:35. This is KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. Hey, and I have to point out this comment that was made by Crystal, directed at you. Shout out to Crystal.
Why?
She went and watched you guys at Groove Adhesive.
I've seen you guys perform too.
She said, I love jazz, and I'm younger than you, Kurt. So I think that was directed at your,
comment that my generation?
Yeah, first of all, you don't represent an entire generation. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that.
This is my generation.
Possession.
Yeah.
One other thing, I have a question. Okay, and you guys do music. I don't play. I used to play piano. I was a world-class piano player.
Of course.
But I don't play.
We'll go along.
Okay, so I went to a concert on Saturday night, and it was an interesting concert. First of all, it was a punk concert in the middle of an art gallery, and it was really super loud. But between every single song, they were tuning their guitar. And I've never seen that in any concert that I've ever been to, where they were making adjustments, and they had a little device on their pedal board that they would it would start like a D, and they would strum the D until they got it right. And I'm like, you just tuned this last song. Did you really knock it out of tune in a song?
And then he texted me and was like, if they have a capo on there, it's going to hold it in tune. And I was like, Kurt, a capo?
No. I just said they were using a capo. Is that why they were changing the tune of the guitar? I don't know how this all works.
It could be alternate tuning.
That's plugged into the tuner and the board, and they just stepped on it. And actually, you didn't hear him. You didn't hear it, right?
Right.
You just saw them tuning
it, and they were talking to him guys, I really like being in Houston right now, and you guys are pretty amazing. Thank you for being here in this crowd, and
Kurt,
I really love this.
It's important to be in tune. It's important.
But how do you go out of tune between songs? It was literally every song in every band was doing it.
They may not be out of tune. They're just checking to make sure they stay in tune.
Or it's an alternate tuning. Some songs have alternate tunings.
Okay. I was just asking. I'd never seen that before, but I was really blown away by it. And then their commentary was hilarious. It was so funny.
Yeah, well.
I was kind of disappointed. I will say, I was not disappointed when I went and saw Groove Adhesive. I was really disappointed at the end of this concert because the guy was like, hey, we got 2 more songs going up. We're really excited. Or it was more we got 2 more songs, and we're really excited to be here, and we'll be great. But anyways, they did the one song, and they're like, all right, thank you. And I was like, wait, you just said you had 2 more songs. What happened? What? And everyone's just like, well, that was lame, and walked away.
Maybe
usually
their time
it's the other way
got
around, right? Usually you do one more, and then you do the encore after that. Usually you don't cut one.
None of them did an encore. It was weird.
Yeah.
Encores are for national touring bands, playing Toyota Center. That's a real encore. If you're playing an art gallery, in Houston, that's probably not the spot.
You guys know who Owl City is, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I bought tickets. This was like 2009. I bought tickets for an Owl City concert before they were big. So it was like a $10
That's
ticket.
like the hipster move right there.
Right?
He does that stuff all the time. I'm like,
Throw
Kurt,
that
you're
in
still
there.
not cool. You're still
Yeah.
not cool. Like,
But anyways, okay,
it's
so
he's gonna
Owl
be saying
City,
about
man.
us
It's
when we get
Owl
big, right?
City.
I realized that,
No.
but I bought the tickets, right? And then all of a sudden, like, I was just like, oh, this will be cool. It's like a really cheap ticket, whatnot. And ended up going to the concert. They had just dropped, like, it just went big. Like, that song went huge. And they played their entire concert and then didn't play the song. And they used it as their encore song. Like, that was a little like, oh, come on.
Presumptuous, right?
Right, like,
There you go.
you know, like, the crowd is going to be mad if you don't play that one song, and then all of a sudden that's what you do for your encore. It was just too cheesy for me. It made me, like, really tune off on Owl City as
You're
a band.
talking about cheesy, and it's Owl City.
I'm just saying, like, there are things that bands do sometimes that just don't make me happy.
Well, I guess y'all need to be taking notes. So that
Here, there's a pad right there if you want to jot them down.
The most I got from that was, this is our new sales pitch, is don't go to another show. That's going to be disappointing. Just go to Groove Adhesive. That's
There
what
it
he's
is.
really trying
Take
to say.
that soundbite over
There you
and
go.
over and over.
Hey.
Just play it.
Clip that up and send that to us.
So, with Groove Adhesive, how can people find y'all on the internet, and is there any way to listen to the music?
GrooveAdhesive.com, at Groove Adhesive on Instagram. Got a Facebook page. Like and follow us there.
And on YouTube.
YouTube as well, huh?
There's a page on YouTube with all the videos and everything you need to know about Groove Adhesive.
Yeah, y'all did a live recording, audio, video, whenever we went and saw you guys last. I was asking Kevin, before, I was like, y'all are doing that yourselves? And we're like, yeah, we do, audio engineering and this other stuff, so we're able to do that. And I said, are y'all going to be able, is it just 100% live? Like, you're going to touch up anything? He's like, well, let me ask you guys, did y'all have to touch up anything?
No, I mean, maybe we should have, but we didn't.
That's what he told me, and I was like, are you sure? I was like, I didn't hear anything. And even if there's so many notes, though, that's the thing.
Well, I'm sure there's some things that each of us would like to have done better, but wasn't a train wreck.
No, it wasn't. It sounded perfect to me. It sounded perfect.
And so, and we use that to build upon for the next audio or video presentation we do. We go back and we listen and hear the things that we would like to do better the next time.
Is it important to do that, like review those performances and see this is what could be better, or save time, or could be drawn out?
Yeah, I think just even, as an ensemble for sure, but even in individual practicing, we're talking about, how to practice earlier, and recording yourself and listening back is crucially important. Your brain is busy when you're playing, so you really don't quite know what you're doing as you're playing. Listening back can always give you a lot more insight, a lot more clarity in what it really sounded like, and how it glued together. It's a big part of writing as well. With a new tune, if we're working something out, working an idea out, we'll play it and then listen back to it, and that part worked really well. This part probably needs to get fixed or changed, or something needs to happen.
Yeah,
that's just part of the process.
Do y'all have any other groups y'all been a part of that have some recordings out where people can go listen to them?
Well, I'm also a recording artist, and I have music out as well, and it's on my website, JalandoJohnson.com. I released a debut EP back in 2016, and then also did a single in this year. And so that's
what is that
for me?
Bless you, Kurt.
Thank you. Sorry, that just came out of nowhere.
What style of music is that?
It's all original. I did do 2 covers, but I spruced it up, kind of did it my way on the EP. But it's a cross between contemporary jazz and instrumental funk.
Okay, cool. Ooh. So is there any vocals on it, or no, just the instrumental as well?
All instrumental.
That's awesome. Cool. Do you have anything out?
Not currently. I've been recorded a little bit with a guitarist named Kelly Doyle. Some really good stuff. Played with Now We Fly. Actually, Josh was in that band as well a couple of years ago. But I think all of us have been trying to do different original projects.
Yeah.
Whenever we can, it's part of what kind of makes us all on the same page about how important this music is to us.
Yeah, Kelly Doyle, he's really good. He plays with Robert Ellis.
That's right.
And the boys.
Yeah.
From
Was
Lake
with him
Jackson,
on Wednesday.
Texas.
Yes.
Yeah. Man, Robert, he just came out with a new album, which I can't really talk about too much, but man, he has this song called like Topo Chico and Lime. Have you listened to any of his album?
I absolutely have. Robert's great. I met Kelly through Robert, and then I've done a lot of work with Kelly recently with Will Story on bass. He's the Telecaster guitarist I was talking about before. He's insanely creative. I think that's one of the things that we all value more in the jazz world. It's really hard to be technically good, but it's almost harder to have a voice on the instrument to be really cool in how creative you are. And Kelly's one of those guys for sure. So.
Yeah. Cool. It's 10:44. We're talking to Groove Adhesive. I have a question. So, are there any other local groups, jazz or not, that are out of Houston, out of our area, that y'all look forward to playing with, or like, enjoy watching, or just kind of like rooting for being in the same, area?
I think there are a couple. I know Glenn Ackerman has the Glennius Interplanet that we played with them at Natsu a month ago. There are a handful of other groups, but one of the things that's been a frustration for all of us is Houston's not as much of an original live music scene as we would wish that it was. I think people don't understand how many great musicians there are in Houston. Houston's one of the best places in the world for just exceptional musicians, and there aren't as many live original groups playing around town as I wish there would be. So that's a big part of what we're trying to do with this group is not just write and record and pat ourselves on the back, but get this music in front of people here and try to convert people to how cool live music is. I think that's a big part of it.
That's really important. It's just not good with all the talent for so many people. And there's a lot of people with original music that they recorded, that they work on. Unfortunately, the venues, they would rather you play
the top 40
and covers,
stuff,
and then if you're lucky, you could sneak in one of your originals.
Yeah,
but that doesn't. Nobody's coming to hear that.
Right,
they're coming to hear you play what they know, what the people know, and the venues count on that. So those are the things that we go up against as we are getting the original music out there. And. But I guess they say every move will start with one step, one person, in this case, 4 people, But we would love to change the narrative of that and make Houston more of an original music city,
Yeah. Growing up in this area, there was a lot of the thought thrown around, if you want to make it in music, you got to get out. Like, you got to go to Nashville, you got to go to L.A., New York, anywhere. But here,
Sure.
Is that something y'all experienced? And I guess I didn't ask, are y'all from this area? Where y'all from?
Well, I'm a native Houstonian.
Yeah, I grew up in New York, so I guess I went backwards. A lot of great New York players and LA players, for that matter. Some of the guys that are really making an impact in the music more nationally are, either HSPVA products or from here. There's a huge Houston influence on music right now, and it's like you said, it goes that direction. It doesn't come back here. I guess I'm the one that got away, but we would love to make it more of Houston musicians that stay are also creating music that matters, that gets out and shows people kind of what Houston is about. Because Houston is such a remarkable city, one of the most diverse musical cities that I've ever been around. A typical week, you'll go to the Monday Latin Jazz Jam session. There's guys from Cuba and Venezuela and Colombia and Chile. And then you go to somewhere on Tuesday and see a straight ahead jazz band play. And then Wednesday, it's a country group. And then Thursday, you go to the Big Easy and see blues and R&B and, guys that played with B.B. King. And, you do a top 40 gig on Saturday and a church gig. There's gospel and contemporary Christian rock and all sorts of cool stuff. And that idiom as well. It's such an incredible city that way. There's so much music of quality that it'd be great to have Houstonians value that more and then share it with the rest of the country as well.
And here's one thing that I've seen that I've been seeing at Preamble, and that I've seen in the past is that when you present your music, well rehearsed, put together, people will accept it. Yeah. They will, because they will enjoy it. You know, when you make it, do it with excellence, I would say. You know, people will take to it.
Mm-hmm. You know, that's one of the things, you know, before I moved here to Texas, I lived in Vermont for a couple of years, and I loved Friday nights listening to bands, you know, and if they were a good band, I enjoyed that kind of stuff, and it's hard to kind of find that here in the Houston area. It's, hey, let's have a DJ, let's have, you know, it's hard pressed to find a location where it's clean, you know, and it's a live band that's fun.
Yeah.
So I want to ask this, and this it's on your influences kind of, but if there was like one record that you could only listen to for the rest of your life, what record would that be? It doesn't have to be jazz. It could be jazz. It could be anything. Like, what has influenced you the most where you're like, you know what, this is the one thing that I will take with me, and I'll be happy? You're on a desert island.
Oh, wow. I mean, I'm sure Jolanda has the same answer. The whole reason we picked the instrument we have is so we can play all sorts of stuff. Gosh, like maybe Thrust by Herbie. That's a tough question.
And then I want you to guess what the other two guys, like if Kevin could only have one record, or you were like forced him to listen to one record for your own reasons. Like, this is the one you have to listen to. And then for your guitarist
on
as
which
well.
Instrument for Kevin, yeah.
Kevin's would be groove adhesive. He's like myself.
That's right. Yeah. He really likes
like
his
one record.
solos for the most part. You got a record?
That's tough. You had to get back to me on that one.
That's fine. That's
He's
fine.
gonna punt the question.
Yeah, but if there was one for Kevin, if y'all had to guess, is there something that he has?
For Kevin.
Or y'all forced him to listen to, maybe even against his will?
I guess it's Kenny G.
Kenny G, there you go.
That's his favorite. I love it.
Anything by Kenny G. Force the moves. Yeah.
Does Kevin
It's a jazz joke for y'all out there.
We never talked about the shoes yet. Can we talk about the shoes?
We haven't.
Kevin told me about some like a question dealing with like green shoes.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, your green shoes in the photo shoot?
You can check that out on the video on our YouTube channel. It was a band that Josh and I played with, the guitarist and I played with a long time ago. And the band leader thought it would be a cool idea for everybody to get Puma shoes, which seemed cool. So everybody went out, and it was supposed to be some big part of our branding and how cool we were and hipster we were. And so everybody went out and got a pair of black and white Pumas. And I didn't get the memo.
You just said Pumas, yeah.
So I was like, I don't want to get the same pair everybody else does. So I got a bright green pair of Puma shoes. So I wear them from time to time to mess with Josh. And they're great. They're comfortable, but they're very green, as y'all can attest to.
They stood out in the photo shoot.
They did for sure.
A little subtle, just like
That's Jordan.
There you go.
As the drummer, you have to do something.
Like we were talking about that before. We're stuck in the background.
I'm here behind everybody.
Desperate attempts for attention.
Desperate times, desperate measures. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
There you go.
You know, when it comes to looking uniform in a band, making sure y'all all like do flow together, that is important. You know, it's not the most important thing. Like I would say the notes are, but whenever somebody looks, you know, there's judgments made in their head and kind of, does this work? Right? And so you kind of have to plan.
Yeah. It's like we were talking before, it's communication, it's language. So everything you do is communicating some part of the experience. You know, what kind of style are you going for? This is a group that's together rather than just four people standing up there. You know, all that stuff matters.
Yeah. You know, playing music, like with the band that I had before, we'd done stuff where it's like, hey, everybody wear basketball jerseys, and it makes you stand out. It's something that at least if people are busy, I mean, trust me, it'll work. If you show up to Preamble and y'all are wearing basketball jerseys, first of all, everybody's watching already, but if there was like a video, people are like, what's going on? Because we had people stop and watch us just for that, and they're like, oh, I like this. Or, you know, we would do little stuff like random stuff like that. But it was it's something you kind of have to plan in advance, and it may sound cheesy if you are not familiar with that, but it does work, and it's not like a straight up. I don't know. It's fun though.
I've been waiting to ask this question. I know we got like 6 minutes left, so this is probably the most important question. Who's the better bass player, Gardy or you?
Oh, 100%. This guy. See, like that's what I was saying at the beginning. Like, how do you get that good? I was over here taking notes. I'm going to go back and watch. You apparently have to practice for forever. Dude, no, I can't play that stuff.
Really?
Yeah, I can't.
Oh, okay.
I can look at the notes and I'll be like, I don't know what this is. Like, no, I can't. It's too many notes.
Dang. That was a humble response. I would definitely, even if he was better, I'd be like, I'm the better. right now, I'm a better drummer than he is. Hands down. I've never even touched the drums.
I haven't heard you. I mean, it's entirely possible.
There was one time I played the drums. Do you remember out here when you guys were practicing? I was pretty good.
Yeah, I know. He's a world-class piano player by his own accord.
Yeah, this is quite the resume that I'm jotting down over here.
Listen, I went to Europe to sing. Like, come on.
Okay.
I traveled the country. Let's go.
He's not good. It's real bad.
Dang! My grandma says I'm a great singer.
That is true. We did call her one time, and she was like, "You're the best." And I was like, "Okay,
man.
it's getting tough. It's getting tough."
Desperate times, yeah.
Desperate times. Wow.
We're hanging out with Groove Adhesive. Y'all play, regularly at Preamble, and then
First and third Tuesdays,
and then at Natsuo's. And is there anywhere else y'all are playing?
Yeah, we've played at KHEA, played around town. We're probably hoping to get a Saison show coming up. Natsuo is the next big one in town. That's August 23rd, 10 to 12:30. Like I said, the Preamble one is 7:30 to 10 every first and third Tuesdays. And we'll have more coming in the near term.
And that's our goal, is to play around town as much as possible. Play our original music and let the people know that we're here.
Yeah. And how can they check y'all out again? On the website, on Facebook? How do they find that?
GrooveAdhesive.com. And that's GROOVE, adhesive, ADHESIVE.com. At Groove Adhesive on Instagram and Twitter. And also a Facebook page on Groove Adhesive. Tell you everything you need to know about this group.
Awesome. Is there anything else y'all would like to share while y'all are here?
Oh, besides telling Kevin stories and while he's not here.
Does he ever
watching.
brag about like the awards that he has? He's like, guys, we're doing it this way because look.
Yeah, he's nominated for a Grammy. You may have heard of that.
I'm a Grammy.
We were chatting the other day, and he was mentioning that on the radio hit we're going to need to mention all the awards we've won, and I was like, I don't know if I've won any awards. He's like, oh, I was talking about my awards. So
he straight up said that.
Absolutely.
Kevin.
Oh, he did.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's watching right now on Facebook.
That's right. Helpless to
he's
can't say
holding
anything.
it up. He's like, guys, mention my trophy.
So he's a teacher. Full time. He's teaching.
That's a scary thought, right?
Teaching music. Is there something else that y'all full time musicians as well, or do y'all have to do other stuff and juggle life and be able to play?
Yeah, I myself. I refer to myself as a musicpreneur, and that is I do
I like that.
everything. I do everything I can to make money making music.
I'll write that down.
I like it.
That's about the same.
Whether that's recording somebody else, lessons, gigs,
teaching,
Right.
session playing, corporate top 40 gigs. It's really you play. You're so blessed to be able to play music. Even the gigs that sound like work are super fun. You get to play with world-class musicians all the time. So, just a lot of it's a hustle to allow us to do this kind of stuff. So,
is it always easy?
No.
No. One of the things that's when you're trying to be a professional musician, suddenly your per hour matters. Like in any job. So you don't have the luxury of doing 5 rehearsals for one gig. You gotta send the charts out. I remember when I played with y'all, you got 5 charts and 5 MP3s, and knock yourself out. Like, show up prepared. That's the normal way that this business goes. So on the one hand, that's great because you don't have to spend as much time just slogging away in rehearsal. But on the other hand, it presents a lot of unique challenges where you're up there on stage and you don't know what's going to happen. So
Gotta
I'm
be
sure
prepared.
Joanna has stories like that as well.
Is there any, I don't know if you want to share, but like, is there anything like embarrassing that's happened on stage where it's like, hey, I'm filling in, or like a one-time guest, like just an interesting story, not necessarily embarrassing, where, hey, things are switching up. I've never seen this before, like on the fly. It's people you're not used to, you know, you don't get the look or anything like that. I'm sure that happens in all kinds of situations.
It does happen. It does happen. Too many instances to remember.
I feel you. Hey, we're out of time. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Indeed, we've enjoyed it.
Go to grooveadhesive.com to learn more, and then check them out on Facebook. Search Groove Adhesive. Smash the like button, and then follow and check them out in concert.
Yeah, check out those videos that Gardy and I
Y'all
created.
did. Yeah.
You did a great job.
You can see yourselves in some of those videos. You got some of the cross shots.
He strategically placed himself in.
That's correct. That's a smart.
They just didn't know that I was actually playing too.
He's
holding the
singing in
camera.
all the videos too. So check that out.
If you listen close
Yeah,
enough
you
and
gotta-
turn up the audio really loud, you can hear
I was
him
just
humming,
making up my own lyrics.
playing, making flute sounds like
That's
he's
right.
Will Ferrell in Anchorman. Yeah. So, hey, y'all be blessed. Have a good day. Tomorrow we are going to be back and have another awesome show. It's Monday. Do something positive. Have some fun.
Yeah, tomorrow we're going to have Dr. Aaron Chapa and then also Texas Performance Powder Coating, which is located in Texas City. They dress up some cars, which is pretty awesome.
I'm going to get some powder coated.
Woo!
I don't know what. Maybe my baseball bat. Put some shine on that thing. Oh, man, that'd be nice. This is KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. Coming up next is Stars Go Dim, Heaven on Earth. Bye, Facebook. We'll see you guys.